stage lights and film lights used to be pretty darn similar. They're not anymore, but
what's the difference?
Technology, and you need different lighting for film than you do for theater. More
right.
like so back.
It's even like staging in theater, right? Everything in theater is just so fundamentally different.
Yeah,
like what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Like theater, you're gonna play it big. You need to light people completely different because you need a whole stage to light rather than just lighting their face in one shot. You can ignore everything else around.
Yeah,
them.
you can't light someone's eyes on stage. You're not going to know what the hell you're looking at. Like and film is very intimate. And but back in the day, it was a much bigger difference when you were filming on film, because you needed to have so much more power and so much more light. And nowadays,
and in filming on film, just because it was on film, in the sense that everything was burning time and everything. Like I feel like we nowadays are so privileged in the sense that we don't understand. Like I think it's actually part of the reason that a lot of the art is lost. And I don't mean that in like everything is worse nowadays. I just mean that before, it was such an investment to even get anything done that by the time you get to the point where you're putting it on film or recording it on a tape, you want it to be perfect. And it wasn't about, we can just do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 takes. There was no David Fincher back then. That didn't exist. No. You couldn't have that method. You would just have to do your best. That's why oneers are so prevalent in older films. It's not like oneers were the fad. It's like that's what you had to do. It's easier if we could do this all in one shot.
Faster, easier.
Yeah, we save money.
A lot of it.
We don't want to do cuts.
No, because
that's the difference.
Because people don't realize that you would pay by the foot for film. Mm-hmm. So I mean, every frame you shot was money,
and that's why people who don't know much about filmmaking, they'll preach about like, film is the way, but that's the real conversation is, well, okay, if you're making a film, like if you're a filmmaker, do you want to use film and actually calculate every single moment, or do you want to use digital and just kind of do whatever you want?
It's very few directors of that time who got to shoot what they want. It's because they had the money and the power. Like when you look at Ron Howard and Martin Scorsese and Spielberg, Ron Howard famously would burn film. He would just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot.
Right.
But there's very few people who could ever get away with that. So you really were much more confined with making very distinct choices and being very specific with what you were capturing. And so that's why when there is extra footage or B-roll on films, it's kind of extra special because on video now we expect it. The digital age, we expect everything. All the content, because it's so accessible, it's so cheap.
You say that, but with the digital age and everything being on streaming now, I just thought about this. You don't see deleted scenes or bonus content anymore.
No, and it ticks me up. But that's why you do physical media.
Yeah, well, that's exactly my point. Is with the loss of digital, or without the loss of physical media and the move into streaming, all that stuff is gone. And the reason I even thought about that is I saw I think it was the deleted ending, or maybe it was a deleted scene from one of the earlier Scary movies. Mm-hmm. And it was Anna Faris, and she was in like the Matrix being Neo. Mm-hmm. And she was fighting a bunch of the Ring girls, Samara, I think her name is, the girl from the Ring.
Yeah.
And they were playing the agent from the Matrix. So it was just like a spin on that. And it's just one of those things where you probably wouldn't even see the light of day now. I mean, now they just delete whole movies. I don't know if it's always been like that, but now it's like public. They'll just delete a whole movie. They'll have a whole movie filmed, and it's not a deleted scene, it's a deleted movie.
There's movies that get shelved.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, whether it was film or digital.
I don't know if that's always happened, but now I feel like it's on a different level than it used to be.
Yeah, well, now the studios, play a different game, and they just write stuff off, and I don't know what goes on. They're like, most of them are insane. But the studio system is not what it used to be by any means. So,
well, what do you think changed over time? Like what compelled that to change?
I mean, like, you look at the market with the streaming.
Yeah.
Right. Over time though, we have all these nothing's individually owned anymore. Everything's a conglomerate. Everything's a corporation. Everything is, back in the day, Warner Brothers was the Warner Brothers, parent, when you go back to was it Lew Wasserman, and Universal and the golden age of MCA and Universal, you had these major powerhouses, right? And these studio systems that just don't exist anymore. You still see contract deals out there, whether it's producers and actors, where they'll be let's get a 3-picture deal, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just not the same. When you look at the legends, MGM just doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, Amazon makes stuff under the MGM banner, but it's not MGM Studios.
Right.
MGM Studios used to be almost 600 acres, and now it's the worst, where the Sony lot is now is what used to be the original MGM lot, but most of the lots all sold off long before Sony ever owned it. They didn't do it. So now you're looking at maybe 30 acres, and it used to be 600. Something like that. I don't know that my numbers are accurate, but it's close to that.
And how did that happen?
Over time, they lose money. They sell off a piece of land. They sell off this piece of land. The studio system started to break down, and then, everybody started buying everybody up. And it's the same thing now, with, Netflix and Paramount and Warner Brothers trying to... I don't understand how we have these monopoly laws that are never...
And it's not just that industry, right?
No, it's not.
With social media, it's crazy because they had that lawsuit on Meta, where it's they're saying they can't have Meta owning everything, and I think that's still going through or whatever.
Look at Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
Exactly,
it's disgusting.
To me, the Meta thing, it's clearly, yeah, they can't have a monopoly, and if that doesn't happen, where you have that lawsuit happen, and then they just say nope, they're allowed to do that. Well, that just sets the precedent that we can monopolize everything, because they clearly have a monopoly on social media. The moment they bought Instagram, they had a monopoly on social media,
and that's the day Instagram tanked. By the way, are we recording?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think we are.
Instagram died. Instagram died not long after that happened, because the thing is, I think the problem is when you become... I think the guy who owned Instagram even came out and said, he's kind of not happy where Instagram's gone. The guy who owned YouTube, when YouTube got bought by Google, he's come out and said that YouTube is
what
not...
What did you think was going to happen?
But the thing is... Yeah, I agree with you. But the thing is, it's like The Godfather. They come to you with an offer you can't refuse. They're giving you money you've never even dreamed of. Obviously, you should say no. And we all say we would say no. But you just could never dream of that. Someone walks up to you, says, I can give you the amount of money that's going to change your life. You'll never have to think about this ever again. Congratulations, you made YouTube. Now you can, they'll tell you it in a way that you want to hear it. And you're going to think that, I don't want to, but maybe I should. And that's how it happens. That's how it gets you. And then you sell YouTube. And YouTube's a great example, too, because YouTube has just become a fucking... dude, there was the adpocalypse, which, if you don't know about that, people don't know about that. That was when, I want to say... I want to say it was Logan Paul, the whole Suicide Forest thing.
Oh, man.
I want to say that was where it happened.
I get Jake and Logan mixed up, but it was one of them.
Yeah, I mix them up, too. But
that was
Logan.
The older one.
That was Logan.
The original, yeah.
I think it was Logan. And so, because Logan's the one who's still doing the podcast and fighting and all this, but he's doing the pro wrestling, whereas Jake is doing boxing. So they're two completely different people. But, all right, so Jake Paul, he did the whole Suicide Forest thing, as far as I know, and that made a bunch of advertisers want to pull out of YouTube because they were like, oh, we don't know if we want to be endorsing this type of content. And what happened was YouTube started making it a lot harder to advertise on their platform, and they started changing the way the advertising worked. And people started making a lot less money, and people started getting ads pulled on their videos for random shit. And it's only gotten worse. That was 2018. I don't even know. It's only gotten so much worse since then. Oh my God. Now, I want to say where it really got bad is... Where did YouTube really get bad? I would argue when they got rid of dislikes, that's terrible. And I've noticed that now the public's kind of coming back around on this and saying the same thing I've always said, Like, why the fuck did they ever get rid of dislikes? No one wanted that. No one thought that was good. The only reason they did that was because what are the videos that get a bunch of dislikes? It's the news networks that post on YouTube, and it's the fucking late night shows that post on YouTube. They get a bunch of dislikes. And guess what? Those are the advertisers that advertise on YouTube. It's advertisers. It's all corporate. And that's what's so annoying, is like these things used to be about the consumer and satisfying the user and being about, like, yeah, you've always been the product. And if it's free, you're the product. That principle is always true. But still, it used to be so much more about you and making it work for you. And now I feel like that I just don't get that idea at all. I mean, TikTok too. I feel like TikTok is just such fucking, it's just this loop. It's just meant to keep you in this fucking loop. It's not about like getting your video in front of people and showing your content to people. It's about getting you stuck in this fucking loop of using this platform. That's what it is. And it's a nightmare. But we all have to do it because we all want our our friends and our colleagues.
I feel like nowadays, if you're still on TikTok, you're just a fucking loser.
I just try to post and get out of there.
With everything that's going on.
Well, I think it's owned by America now. I think America finally bought it, and we own it now. So now America's spying on you, not China. You know.
Well, they're mining. It's even worse. You know.
Oh, it's all about data. Yeah.
That whole what was it a month ago when all of that new update where, hey, we're going to spy on you and take everything you own, basically. And
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, that's why everybody started dumping TikTok right away, because they came in, and once that all was completed and finished, they sent out this huge privacy notice, and you had to accept it or not use the platform. And it was about basically, I don't remember it enough to talk about it, to share it with anyone.
But they want more.
It was just, I mean, then there was a huge outrage, and that's how I learned about it, because it was all over the media, it was all over the news, all over the internet, and I started reading about it, and I never really, I tried using TikTok strictly for one of my businesses that I have, so I was never on there as an individual, or I wasn't posting content, I wasn't doing anything on it, but after all that, I immediately deleted all my data, and they make it impossible. It's like a 30-day process to delete your profile, because I wanted to delete all my data. Then they make you wait 30 days, and you can put in to delete your profile. It's shady.
Just in case you change your mind.
Right? It's shady just to even close out your account.
Yeah. TikTok is definitely invasive. That's why I thought it was funny. I mean, this whole story makes me, it vindicates me in a way, because I remember thinking it was funny when when the narrative was, we're criticizing China for spying on you and taking your data. Like, oh, China can't have your data. And I remember the whole time I was thinking, like, yeah, because America takes data and we want that, so we could take all the data, because that's like an advantage for them and we want it. It's not about China is doing the wrong thing and stealing data. It's like, we want that data. That people miss that part. And then now here we are, and America has a worse, more invasive version of TikTok. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, of course we do. It's like the perfect, we were jealous and we finally got it. I don't know. I shouldn't have TikTok on my phone. And I hear all this and I say I shouldn't have it, but the problem is I still probably am going to keep it on my phone. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm going to keep it on my phone. Because the thing is, I post on there, and 9-year-olds do see my videos that wouldn't see my videos anywhere else.
Well, that's important, because they definitely have big pockets.
Yeah, they have big pockets, and they have so much to say in the comments, dude. But I actually do feel like a lot of those like mean comments I get on TikTok, I'm like, okay, they're probably 7. I have to calm down. They're probably 7 years old. Like, I cannot get worked up about this comment. That's why you folks don't take comments seriously. Unless you know who it is, it could be a 7-year-old.
Who cares?
And who cares?
But at the same token, why is everything so devastating? It's someone expressing an opinion you don't agree with. Move on. You don't have to agree with each other. I mean, I know there's also serious trolling garbage on there. But
I truly think that if you are, especially if you're like a creative person, you're doing something creative, odds are, if you are expressing yourself effectively, at a certain point, your people are going to criticize you. They're going to have opinions. They're going to say all sorts of things. That means you're doing something right at a certain point, in my opinion. Like, obviously, not everyone should be saying stop doing this, but there's a line that must be walked. And I think when you're doing something truly different, people don't even know how to react or what to say, and you kind of just have to accept that people are going to, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be all sorts of things.
No, you can't please everybody.
You literally can't.
You have to do. I mean, my take on life and business and all that stuff is, you have to do what you feel is right.
Right.
For you and or your product or your situation, right? You're never going to appease everyone. You're never going to make everybody happy. You're always going to have haters, whether they're real or robots, you know? So as long as you're doing it I'm really big on, integrity and, so I feel like as long as you're staying true to yourself, and doing what you think is best, then who the fuck cares? I understand how easy it can be to get into this dark black hole of everybody hates me or look at what they're saying. No one's saying it's easy. Just ignore it and move on, because it's not always that simple, right? But don't give so much weight to people and the negative thoughts and the what people say or don't say, because ultimately the people who know you or work with you, they're going to know the real deal. They're going to know you. They're going to know your product. It's not going to matter that some, asshole choking on a hot dog in the back of his trailer is commenting on your video. Like, who cares?
People really care about comments too.
They do.
I truly like to read them, and I will think about them, but I really don't care what anybody says at the end of the day. I just don't. That's how I am. I've learned that about that's an advantage I have in the world. Like, I care what some people say, but ultimately I just know it doesn't really matter what anybody has to say. Because people say all sorts of things. People will tell you the exact same thing or the exact opposite thing that someone else said, right? Like you'll show them a clip of your movie and you'll be like, what do you think? And someone will tell you it's perfect. You show another person the same exact clip and they'll be like, I don't know, like da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. They'll have all these sorts of comments. So the other person said it was perfect. And this guy has all sorts of comments. So which one are you going to believe? Like, who do you want to believe? It's up to you. You get to choose who you believe.
The thing is I'm going to believe what I believe.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
believe whatever. I would believe what I thought in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you think about my thing. I'm just showing you.
Everyone, and that's the thing about art. It's very subjective, right? So,
and I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's why I shouldn't care. I should allow you to interpret it.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm so on top of what I want it to be and I'm so concerned with everyone else's opinions, I feel like you get lost in that. And it should be open to interpretation, and it should be your initial vision, and trying to, especially if you're a director or like filmmakers, I think have to deal with that a lot, where it's like you have an initial vision, and then how do I bring that to fruition and show that to people the way I want it to be, visualized. Like, how do I visualize that and make it real? And that's the art of it, right?
Well,
like, how do I bring it to reality?
And it's hard when you're an artist, because the art is your child.
Yeah.
So that's like saying your baby's ugly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your baby might be ugly, but who's going to say that to you?
But it's my baby, motherfucker. But that's my baby. I spent 8 fucking months with that baby in my belly. It's my baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I feel like, that's why I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if you told me my baby's ugly, because it's my baby.
Yeah.
I don't care. I spent time on it. I know it's good. I know it matters to me. I feel like that's like, and with all that being said, like, I think what people say and the interpretation, all that's super important. That's what matters the most. But I think it starts with that initial like seed of just wanting to make the best thing for the sake of making the best thing, and not making it for anybody else, and not caring.
Yeah, and it's the best thing for you, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's what makes that shared experience more profound when other people resonate with it. I think it's because it came from somewhere personal and it was more authentic. Like,
well,
that's
I was
how it
talking
happens.
about this a little bit last night with a filmmaker, and I don't think she's taken the deep dive to where it's like crushed her soul or anything. But there's a film that she had made that we were talking about, and I haven't seen it yet. I'm about to watch it. She's going to send it to me, but it's very polarizing. And she was kind of like, well, gosh, everybody over here is getting exactly what I want to do. And then these people are like, I don't get it. And I'm like, but that's okay. You know, and I think she feels that way. But we were talking kind of about this, you know, last night quite a bit. And
at the Loads premiere, the Chicago premiere of Loads.
Yes. Yes. I will never masturbate again.
Yeah. No. Gotta name drop that real quick. Don't masturbate, folks.
Kino Crew.
You might explode.
Right?
But anyway, yeah, so that you were having that conversation last night.
Yeah. As long as you're not a prude, it's a great movie, by the way. But we were talking about that, you know, and it's, I think she's struggling. She wants to feel the way we're talking. Yeah. Like, it's okay. And I think she does feel that way for the most part.
Has she been doing it for a while, or is she just getting started?
She's been making films for about 10 years now,
I'm surprised she feels that
roughly.
Because, I mean, I feel like once you've done it for a while, you just don't really care.
Well, and I think that's where she's coming around. I think that's kind of the discussion we were having, that it's, you know, at first it was kind of shocking for her to people to be like, I don't get your movie. But now she's kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and on a separate one, there was a filmmaker. She's an LA filmmaker. Well, she's originally from Canada, but she's in LA, and she had made this short horror film that I had showed in a couple of my fests, and it's a great film. She's, you know, won some awards. It's a fun, creepy little piece, but you know, again, not everybody can love everything that you do, right? Mm-hmm. And even if you have a great movie, and I tell people this all the time, you could have an incredible movie, but even then, it doesn't mean that every festival is going to accept your movie, or every festival is going to jump to show your movie.
Right.
They all have certain things they're looking for, whether it's time or content or diversity. Like, there's all different reasons they could select or not select a movie, even if it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And so she was really getting down because festivals had suddenly kind of stopped accepting her film, or maybe she hadn't gotten into as many as she had hoped recently. Right. And she was writing, you know, and I won't call you out, I won't say who or, but, you know, she was writing me, and she was like, I don't understand. She's like, should I change my film? Should I cut my film? Should I edit? And I'm like, absolutely not. I said, you shouldn't change anything for anybody.
Yeah.
I said, have you made the film that you wanted to make? Are you presenting the film that you want to present? Then it shouldn't matter. I said, you can have the most incredible movie in the entire world that you have just made, but that still doesn't guarantee that somebody's going to show it.
Right.
You know, like, let's look at the Oscars, especially in recent years, but let's look at the Oscars, right?
Well, I mean, Oscar bait, right? The whole thing.
I love how people go, but it won an Oscar. That doesn't mean it's a great movie.
Right.
And it's also
subjective.
Subjective.
The way people even think about award shows, because it just shows how simple our minds are.
Yeah.
Like, what made you think originally? Like, let's just track down the core of the thought. Like, what made you think that awards matter? Like, in the sense that, like, a Grammy or an Emmy, like, what makes you elevate something if it's Emmy nominated or Grammy nominated? Because let's define what that means. What does it mean to be Grammy nominated or Oscar nominated?
I think especially it used nowadays, to all mean a lot more.
It used to mean a lot more. Now you realize, oh, it's like campaigning, and it's politics, and it's money. That's how you get nominated. It's not about being the best and doing the best. That's what you'd think it is. That's why I think, like, if everything was people's choice, if it was always like a people's choice type award, and you somehow found a way to democratize it and make that work, that would be the way to do award shows. But it's never that. It's always like a club, and you're not in the club, and you're watching the club on a TV.
Yep.
And lucky you get to see the club all together.
You get to smell their dinner, but you don't get to. But that's why Rock Hall is still really cool, because it is still voted on by the people for the most part, right?
Yeah. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes it feel important to me. And I think more people are feeling that way nowadays. I think, like, it's become more in the public awareness about the whole campaigning thing and all that. I've always thought award shows just seem fake to begin with. Someone who's good to look at is like a Jim Carrey, the way he appears at award shows and he always approaches them. He just doesn't take it seriously and always kind of makes fun of it and teases the whole idea of it, which to me is like, he's exactly on the nose. Like, it's just so ridiculous what you're even doing.
Yeah.
Like, you're pretending all this matters.
Like, I get
and it does matter. Like, I respect it to a point. I think it does matter to a point. It's just, we elevate this to such a height, you know?
And it matters. I mean, I understand the business part of it, right?
Yeah.
And it does matter, because look at what it can do to your bottom line as an actor, as a producer, as a studio.
And I think the culture, like the culture of film, you need something like that. So that's important. I just don't like the way they do it. I think that the film culture needs an annual celebration of film. Like, that idea is definitely correct.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it feels like a club. Like, it's like you're looking at Hollywood. That's what's bad.
Yeah.
And it's all these award shows. I mean, they're all the same thing.
Yeah.
It all ends up feeling, and that's why you get the whole political speech from an actor, and everybody just gets fucking annoyed when they watch it, because it's the club all clapping at the club. Like, no normal person gives a fuck about a celebrity talking about politics. That's why when Ricky Gervais goes up there and makes fun of them for it, everybody likes that. Because nobody wants to. Every now and then it's okay. Like, I think there's a few actors who have done it right. Like, maybe like a Marlon Brando back in the day, if you remember him. He sent a Native American to accept the award for him and make a speech on the behalf of the Native American people.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that is completely selfless. That's like... That's a great. That's an effective way to do that. But there's few ways to do it where you can actually, because I just think in general audience, they don't look at a celebrity in that format. Maybe you're at an award show, you're accepting something. I think Ricky Gervais's whole thing is like, just thank your God and get off stage, like, please.
Well,
you know the speech I'm talking about.
Yeah, he goes a little far though sometimes. I mean, like,
of course.
Like, I find I do. But what was that?
I don't agree with a lot of things he says.
Yeah, he really.
I think he's very funny.
I think he can be really funny.
Yeah.
I also think that just because you question the status quo doesn't make you funny or genius.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and that's why I think his whole atheist shtick is a bit much. That's what I don't like about him the most. I think his whole thing with, like, and it's just he has that whole atheist persona of, like, he makes it his whole thing, and I just find that to be kind of reductive. I don't find that to be very interesting. Because I feel like you're just simplifying things, and you're also trying to be smart about it. And maybe that's just a British thing that I don't fully understand.
Maybe, but that's why,
it just seems reductive.
A lot of the problems people have with him is how he comes across so arrogant and so condescending, and yeah, I can see that. But there's also some of that British humor. That's some of how it just works there, right? A lot of that kind of biting, sardonic, condescending, and it works for a lot of people.
You wouldn't have The Office without him.
No.
Yeah.
One of the very few shows that I think the Americans got better, and you will almost never hear me say that.
That's a tough one. That's a debatable issue, but I am inclined to agree with you. Yeah, I want to agree.
I love, and then I love, of course, social media they're talking about, right? Then the immediate response would be like, you don't understand British humor. Dude, like, I've written British humor. I've performed British humor. I understand British humor, not just because I do that. I mean, because I just get it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate a lot of British humor, and a lot of Americans don't quite get a lot of British humor.
I would say there's more soul in the American Office. There's a lot more soul in the American Office, because that's kind of the idea with the British Office, the UK Office, is that it's more lifeless and dead and gray.
Did you ever see Extras?
No.
It was an HBO series from Ricky Gervais. I think it was 2 seasons and a special maybe, but I think it's really funny.
Okay.
And there's the episode with Kate Winslet. If you don't watch any other episode, you need to watch the episode with Kate Winslet. I won't spoil it for anyone. You should just go find it.
Okay.
It's really funny.
I like Ricky Gervais. I think he's funny. I really do. I think most of everything I've seen him in, like, Shaun of the Dead. That's him, right? Or no, I'm getting that wrong.
No,
that's not him. That's what's his name?
Oh my gosh, Simon Pegg.
Yeah, Simon Pegg.
And the new, I can't think of his name. The new Dumbledore, not Dumbledore. The new Hagrid.
Oh, I didn't know that's him.
Nick Frost.
I did not connect those dots. He's in the new Star Wars. What's going on today? He's in the new Harry Potter. Harry Potter,
which I will not be watching.
I will not be watching. Well, okay. So how do you feel about that? You got a good take on that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's good.
I would like to hear your take, because my take, I feel like it's just, I feel like you already know what I'm going to say.
Well, I don't know, because it could go several ways. I will say part of it is, Jake, the whole shit with that.
The Snape thing?
That pile of cretinous, herpetic filth known as J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah.
Who I really hope just gets the worst fucking boils on her clit and just like ruins her life.
Clit boils, huh?
That's a sequel for loads.
You could cast a hex on her or something. That sounds like a witch.
That's part of it. Honestly, that whole shit with her. It's not entirely it. But there's other ways to look at it too. Like, at this point,
is she connected to the show? I don't know. Like, is she working on the show?
Yeah. I mean, she's going to get lots of money from that show.
No, but I mean, is she actively working on the show?
I don't think so.
Oh,
no.
okay.
But
okay.
I'm sure she has.
Gets to the back end.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure she has to have approval on things.
Right.
I know she had to on the films. I cannot imagine it would be that way on the series. But listen, I
just know how connected she's been ever since all her controversies and whatnot. I wasn't sure. I just kind of assumed that she wasn't connected anymore, and they were just kind of able to work with the IP. I actually don't know.
I would like to, and again, listen, I don't work at HBO. I'm not on this production team.
I just assume they don't give a fuck about J.K. Rowling at this point. They're like, she gave us Harry Potter. We are not going to have to ask her anything.
And who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to think that if they were working more on doing stuff without her, that they would have made that kind of forefront.
Right. It's kind of like it's like the George Lucas thing with Star Wars.
Yeah,
like
or the Roseanne Barr thing.
It to Disney.
With when she
Roseanne,
when she got kicked off the
Same
revival.
Thing. They made it very obvious.
The studio was very obvious, like she can no longer monetarily, blah, 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 right? That has never happened with J.K. Rowling. And that doesn't mean I mean publicly. That doesn't mean, again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be a huge press point for them.
It would be, yeah.
And they've said nothing like it.
The actors have said stuff about her, though, at least. I know a lot of the actors have said
John
things.
Lithgow finally came out and said, I didn't read the whole thing, so I can't quote him. But he came out and talked about how he made the decision that what was happening with her wasn't enough for him to not want to do the role. And it goes much deeper. Read the article if you really want to know what he had to say. But, he was one of the ones that really addressed it head on because he got a lot of backlash for accepting the role as Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And listen, John Lithgow is one of my favorite actors. But between the magic of Harry Potter being lost in recent years, for lots of reasons, but mostly because of this whole J.K. Rowling nonsense, right? Because I can still go back and watch the others, and I'm still magical about them. I don't know. There's just something to me about Harry Potter that was really magical. I mean, it really was. Yeah, I've got a sour taste in my mouth now, but it doesn't stop me from, I
don't think it takes away from the art.
It doesn't want me to not read the book again, or not watch the movies, or not go to Wizarding World if Harry, at Universal.
And I think the thing that people,
she's got her money.
If you wanted to really think about things that way, you could go back and all of these role models, even throughout history, they were all so fucked up, dude. I mean, like if you really want to break down everybody, I'm sure you could break down everybody and find. Like, I don't think it takes away from Harry Potter. I don't think if you resonated with Harry Potter, if you liked the story, if it meant something to you growing up, I don't think that whatever she says or does takes away from those initial experiences you had with that material. That's just because I think that. Especially something like that, right? It's this big overarching narrative that so many people experience, and it's a coming of age type of story. I mean, I feel like a lot of people must have identified with that. I never got big into Harry Potter, but I mean, come on, all you gotta do is have like whatever that channel is that does the thing every Halloween or Christmas when they just show all the movies. One of these channels does that every
I don't
year.
know.
Oh, it's like a Harry Potter marathon. It's either Halloween or Christmas.
And but it's always on TV.
Always on TV.
I mean,
yeah. And so it's that type of thing where, and I still actually haven't watched that because I don't want to watch one of the later ones. I have to start from the beginning and watch it all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of a lot of the movies. Like the first one I've seen all the way through a long time ago. But everything else I know the basics.
They're pretty good. They do vary from the books. Mm-hmm. I recommend I like to watch a movie first and then read the book. Because otherwise I ruin it for myself. I read the book because my brain is so visual and I create what I think I want to see and hear. Yeah. And then when I watch the movie, I'm doubly disappointed because I've created what I consider my good version in my head.
Well, I also think adaptation is something that people who do it well are it's so underappreciated. People who can adapt material well because, that's why books are generally better. Like the book is better than the movie because it's a fucking book. It's supposed to be a book. When you take a book and you make it a movie, you lose so much. It's very, very, very difficult to capture the essence of a book within a film.
I think Gone Girl did it really well. I still like the book. That's actually a really good one because I really like the book. I really like the movie.
Yeah.
The changes they made in the movie made sense to me and I understood, or the things that you eliminated. The adaptation I think was really, really brilliant almost.
Right.
So that to me is one where they really did it right.
It's super hard to do. I mean, that's why, Game of Thrones is such an interesting thing to look at, because it's really what it really was two people who are really good at adapting material, but they're not very good at generating material. That's really what happened. And so you had two guys who had fucking the best material to work with. They had the dopest story, but they had a guy who was the slowest writer. But I don't think people. I've been
slow like speed or slow like brain?
Yeah. So you must not know. So like George Martin.
No, I don't know much about.
Yeah,
I tried.
George Martin's very smart, very intelligent individual, but he takes a long time to write books. There's actually a funny clip of him talking to Stephen King.
I thought you meant the TV writers. I got you.
Yeah. So the TV writers, they. An argument could be made that they may or may not be intelligent. I mean, the problem is they really fucked up that show. Like so many people, it's like the Stranger Things recently. Now it's in that debate of like, oh, is it worse than Game of Thrones? And people are saying, oh, nothing's worse than Game of Thrones. Like that's literally what people are, because Game of Thrones.
Why did all you people watch Game of Thrones?
Dude, it's a painful watch because the problem, I watched it kind of in succession. I watched it right when it ended. So I was unemployed that week. So I spent a week on that show. I just binged the whole thing. And it's actually jarring how fast it tanks. And people, I think nowadays are so used to things having, like they just have ridiculous standards for things in general. I think audiences have been dumbed down, but in the sense that like we're not dumber. We just have been the standard for what is good is different. The bar has been lowered effectively for everybody.
You mean everybody gets a standing ovation? Yeah, I'm over that.
Yeah. But I think that audiences are smart. If you respect audiences, they're actually smart. And it's not like audiences have ever gotten any dumber. It's just we've been subject to so much bullshit that we just take it now. It's kind of sad. That's how I view a lot of the things. And so when it comes to Game of Thrones, it was, where's my train of thought at? So I forgot where I was in my story.
You're talking about how it tanked like really rapidly.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess if you're watching it really quickly, the thing is, a lot of the people who watch the show, I think, it's like Star Wars. I think people who were a fan of the IP and they were so connected to it, it's like when the new movies came out. If you were to watch the new movies right after watching the old movies and the prequels, you'd immediately be like, what the fuck is this? Because that's what happened to me. Because I had no connection to any of this. I don't care. I don't care that Star Wars came back. I didn't wait 10, 12 years. So when I'm watching it, I'm thinking, this is so obviously not the same thing as the last 6 movies I just watched, because it's just not. It's just not. And in my mind, that's not what I want to see if I'm going to watch another Star Wars movie. And it was a no-brainer that the other two I wasn't going to like as much, and guess what? I didn't. So that's what happened. But then I fucking look at the audience response to all this, and I see, oh no, audiences liked the first movie, and they were happy about the first movie. And then the second movie's where they were like, huh? But they still weren't super upset. They were still had hope. And then the third movie's where it got really bad. And I'm talking about specifically the Disney sequels. But again, I saw the first one and immediately my alarms are going off. So back to Game of Thrones. I finished season 4. This is still a good show. I watched season 5. Immediately, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like, this is different. And then season 6 happens, and now I'm like, whoa, this isn't even, I don't even want to watch this really anymore. And then 7 and 8 are just a nightmare. 7 and 8 are known as the worst seasons of television. Like,
well, 8 was the one with the Starbucks cup, right?
Dude, the Starbucks cup is just such a prime example of they gave up. Dude, they had given up. Because the writers, this is what I'm saying, really the meta narrative, what was really happening is these guys were good at adaptation, and they were really good at taking George R.R. Martin's books, which were phenomenal books, which were almost like a political, it was more like a real life history combined with like Lord of the Rings type storytelling. And from my understanding, there's more magic and more stuff like that in the books. They don't really go too far in that direction in the show. And from my understanding, that's actually part of this whole problem, is they shoot themselves in the foot. And what most people say after season 4, it falls off because they stopped having material with the books. But I think what really happened is they did have more material with the books, but they had made the decision to try to venture off into more of a Hollywood-y type direction, and they could see the future, the writing on the wall. They knew they were probably going to have to do their own thing because George wasn't going to end up writing the 3rd book, or I think that was because he's got 2 more books to come, so there's 4, and he's going to make 5 and 6, and it's been like 15 years since the last book or something.
Oh my gosh.
So it's one of those things where they're kind of fucked because they do. But the best thing they could have done is have new writers, but they didn't choose to do that. And the funniest part is it's all connected to Star Wars because they were going to go work on the next Star Wars project for Netflix and do some Star Wars material. And so George R. R. Martin on record was saying the show should have been 10, 13 seasons. Like Game of Thrones had way more content in it. There was so much more to do. And even HBO said they would have funded all these seasons. They would have went way farther. But guess what? These guys just wanted to head over to Netflix and make their Star Wars money. And they what I think too is they knew, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't know how to keep this show going for 5 more seasons. We better just get this over with. Because dude, the end of that show is so jarring. I mean, it's crazy. Like, and this is the whole thing I said about audiences. It's amazing what people will accept. You'd be so amazed.
But wasn't there a bunch of outrage about this season? About series finale?
There was, but you will still meet you'll still meet plenty of people who, like casual people that aren't commenting online. Like online, you'll see outrage. But if you just talk amongst friends, you talk to people in the real world, you'd be amazed, dude. People just accept this type. They're just like, it's a show. It's just a show. And I'm like, it was you
invested 8 years of your life.
That's not even. So the part that's so frustrating is it's the best show from season 1 to 4. The best shit I've ever seen. And then it gets so bad. It's the worst shit I've ever seen. You can't believe it. And I would think everyone you talk to, every single person would be like, oh, that's, but people I think are just so conditioned, like they'll get so used to a product. Like, oh, it's just Game of Thrones. I've watched it I sit down, we watch it every year, every summer, it's on TV, that I don't even think they notice the difference. Like you could just slowly fade away in front of them and they don't even notice, I think that's what happened with Marvel. You have so many people who are just Marvel diehards that you could talk to them about it, and obviously the product is not what it used to be, but they just fucking love it and they'll just eat it up and they don't give a fuck.
It's the same thing, with the new Scream. Listen, I'm a Scream diehard.
Oh, that's
right?
A good one. Yeah, Scream.
I am a huge Scream series fan.
And from my understanding, that film franchise has not really failed up to now. Like they've had a good batting average.
Correct.
Yeah. So and that sets them apart from a lot of other horror franchises.
Yes.
Yeah.
The argument about 4 is that once again it was just a little ahead of its time, and the studio didn't promote 4. So 4 didn't do well commercially, which is why we didn't get 4, 5, and 6 like it was planned. 4, 5, and 6 was supposed to be a new trilogy.
Right. It was just some studio bullshit, I imagine.
Well, it didn't do well financially,
right.
But they also did a shit job at promoting the movie, in my opinion, and it was also just a little ahead of its time. It was shortly after that what they were tackling in that movie became reality, and then people were like, "Oh, look at this!" It's like, well, yeah, Scream 4 just told you that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it was a little, but Scream 4, I think in any movie you can find moments that maybe aren't your favorite moments, but I think it's a really good film, and it's a big fan favorite. It just didn't do well commercially, right?
And it's an effective revival of a franchise.
Yeah. I really think so, and I like the direction it took. It went back to being really brutal, really violent, but I enjoy 5 and 6. There were things I really would have liked to have seen different in 6, the one in New York. But I like the movie, and I thought 5 was a really great way to revive the franchise. and I won't ruin anything for someone who may not have seen it, but I thought the whole opening scene was such a great twist. I really like 5.
He calls himself.
Right. He's a schizophrenic.
Yeah.
No, I like 5 and 6. And the thing is 7 is actually a pretty good movie until the end, until the reveal.
Yeah.
It has got to be one of the worst.
That's what I've heard. I've heard the reveal is a spit in the face of the franchise itself. I don't know.
It's horrible.
I don't know because
I mean, I sat there and I was literally gape jawed. I was like,
my friend of the show, awesome rapper John Connor. He's
John
super,
Connor.
Yeah, familiar name, right? And he's gonna save us from the AI. And he was talking about, I saw him post about it, like, oh, it's been long enough, I can finally say, because he didn't want to spoil the movie for anybody. And I couldn't read much of the post because I'm still trying to be careful, you know.
Yeah.
But he said that the movie was great up until the reveal. Like the movie was, which I don't know if that's true or if that's just somebody who's
That's
a fan.
how I feel.
You feel that way too?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was good up to that.
I feel if you can take away the ending and the reveal and who the killer or killers is or are.
Mm-hmm. Which is also a staple of the franchise.
Yeah.
You're always waiting to see that.
I think it's really a good film.
Yeah.
Yes, again, there's some things that maybe I would have liked to have seen different. There's one actor in particular that I really would have liked to have been in the film more.
Who? Do you know who?
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I want to.
I got you. You can't say.
Yeah, I don't want to. I hate spoilers so much.
Me too.
And
So
it's still a really fresh movie, so
I respect that because, so how do you feel about aged spoilers? How do you feel about a movie that's like 30 years old? Do you think that there's a spoiler embargo or do you not believe in that?
I think it depends. For me, I think if it's some like indie art house film, dude, like you have to consider that I've probably never seen this movie. Don't fucking ruin it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if it's just like, it's a rom-com and they get married. I mean, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like if it was a mainstream movie or if it was one of the top films of a generation, one of the, you have to know by now.
Right.
I mean, like in a year, I probably won't have any problem telling everybody what happens in Scream 7. But
see,
it's
where you and I
so-
differ.
It's still so fresh that I don't. Now, if someone,
I'm like so careful with spoilers. I treat them like I'm walking on eggshells. Like
Yeah.
I bring up a movie, I'm so careful with
I mean,
people.
in this
it'll be
type-
a movie from 1976, dude.
well, I mean, in this
I'll
type
be like,
of,
you haven't seen Jaws? All right, how do I?
excuse me. I mean, in this type of setting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I were talking to someone and they've been like, I've never seen Scream, I'm not going to ruin Scream for them.
Yeah,
I'm going to. And I've had people beg me, and I'm like, I'm not going to ruin this for you.
That's why I worry about
don't-
it. Yeah, because I always am worried I'm gonna ruin something for somebody.
Yeah.
Because I think people don't realize how dangerous spoilers are. How
Yeah.
fun it is to not know something.
Well, that's why trailers really suck now.
I don't even watch trailers.
I mean, they give the whole, and that was one problem I really had with Scream 7 was promotion. Their marketing really pissed me off. Their trailer pissed me off, especially after seeing
What
the movie.
was wrong with the trailer?
They gave a lot of away,
Okay.
and they were very misleading in their marketing.
Okay.
And again, it's one of those things where I don't know that I want to ruin it for anybody necessarily because you can't really talk much more about it without talking about why it's a problem.
Right.
The trailer and their marketing really pissed me off.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know where that begins because I want to say that starts in like the 2010s, like around there when trailers really started to give everything away. One thing that bugs me is I've noticed trailers are edited in a way where the climax of a trailer is generally the climax of the film.
Yeah, you were just saying this with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I've said this before.
Yeah.
But to me, that drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is maddening. I don't understand that because this is why I don't want. I will time when I go to the movies. I'm like, let's try to walk into the film 20 to 30 minutes late because that's when the trailers are going to be over. Because I don't even want to have them hit my eyes because I don't want to know. Because films are so much more fun that way. Like it's so much more fun if all I know is it's this director and this actor, or maybe so and so recommended it, or I just go off of like flimsy recommendations and I kind of float through the world and let films find me. That's what I like to do. Because as soon as you see a trailer, I don't know. For me, it's all etched in my mind, in the back of my mind, just little things, right? Like, okay, if I see this character and they're on a fucking motorcycle and they're jumping over a hill and there's fire and that happens. And I saw that in the trailers towards the end of the trailer and it's crazy and there was crazy music and they're jumping over a fucking hill and there's people chasing them on a motorcycle. Okay, well, now I know the whole time I'm watching the movie, well, they're going to end up on that hill on that motorcycle with fire behind them at some point, and I haven't seen that yet, so we're going to have to end up there somehow. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know anything. And I just think trailers inherently tell you too much almost always. The best trailers are the ones that have mystique and are mysterious.
Leave you with questions.
Yeah, and it's almost just giving you the tone of a film rather than the actual plot of a film. Like, those are the most effective trailers to me, where it makes you wonder what a film is even really going to be. And that's more of an editor's job. Like, that's really just effective editing. But I don't know, dude. I just feel like it's an art form. Like, editing trailers is its own art form. Yeah. And so much of it is just so bad. Well, I mean, it's an art form in the sense too that all you gotta do is go to YouTube and type in like so and so as a horror movie, and people will like re-edit movies as horror movies.
Yeah, fan trailers all over the place.
Fan trailers, right? Yeah. And it shows like anybody could, like, not anybody could do it, but there's an art to it, and if you know what you're doing, you could take a film and make it look a certain type of way. And I think that a lot of these fucking people who are funding these trailers, it comes down to corporate interests and like, oh, gotta have explosions, you gotta show off the action, you gotta da-da-da-da. And they're not thinking about plot. They're not thinking about revealing
No, I mean, listen, the point of a trailer is to be a marketing tool, right? It's always been that way. However, I feel like in the last, especially 20 years or so, that they've really become controlled by the marketing machine. Yeah. And it's less about the art and less about, and it's only like frustrating.
These artists who are so, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's a director who auteur. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's so funny, dude. I was about to say autist. These autist directors, these auteur directors who have so much creative control. I think they're the only ones who can really like
a David Lynch.
Yeah, like a David Lynch, or maybe I was thinking like recently Paul Thomas Anderson, when One Battle After Another was coming out. The trailers for that were good, and those I watched, because I kind of trusted that he would have creative control over the trailers, so I wasn't going to see too much of the movie. And that's exactly what it was. It was really just like one scene that gives you no context, really, and you just kind of get what the movie might be. And that's what a trailer should be.
The new Spielberg film, I can't think of the name right now.
Oh, I know
but
you're talking about
Alien
Contact,
movie?
First Contact or something.
Yeah, for
something like that.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not that, but
it's an alien movie.
Yeah, and it's
Disclosure.
Emily.
First Disclosure.
That's it, right? For
maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, so. It's Emily.
This is what producers are for. Remember?
It's Emily Blunt and Spielberg, Spielberg is one of my top directors, but I think the trailer is an excellent trailer.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really tell you anything.
No, it really leaves you wanting to know what the hell's going to happen in this movie. Yeah, and why it's happening. And Disclosure Day. Yeah, isn't that it? Disclosure Day.
Yeah, I think
because I think it's something about the day when it's revealed that all this, but I think it's a really good trailer. I mean, of course, I haven't seen the movie yet to compare it, but
another one that just came out too is the Christopher Nolan Odyssey trailer. That one doesn't really tell you much either. I haven't seen the trailer. Oh, you didn't?
I just saw that. I didn't even know about Odyssey, and I went. I was in Milwaukee, and I went to watch Undertone, and at the theater outside there was a poster, and I was like, Christopher Nolan, and I saw the cast list, and I was like, the Odyssey. Yeah. So I didn't even know there was.
He was in the news last year, the year before, when he started casting it, but then it kind of disappeared for a while, and then the trailer came out recently. Yeah. It's this year, I want to say. And it's shot with, like, he did it with this different type of IMAX camera. There's something he did different with the camera that was, important about the movie. I wish I could say exactly what it was, but it's a certain type of IMAX camera. I don't know how to feel about it. Because the thing is, like, it's the Odyssey, bro. It's like the whole adaptation thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can adapt the Odyssey. I'll be impressed if it comes off as like a seamless adaptation. I have a feeling it's gonna feel a bit too cinematic for me. Like, how are you gonna do the fucking Odyssey, dude?
I mean, it's clearly gonna have to only be a portion. I mean, there's no way that they could
exactly.
You know.
And the Odyssey is a great story. If no one had to read that in English class growing up, it's a good story. It's worth it. It's worth checking out. I mean, it's one of those OG stories.
Yeah. Well, I liked Beowulf okay enough. I mean, it was a weird time for CGI, right? But
dude, Beowulf's a wild film. It's like watching PS2 cutscenes.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
It's really wild.
It just doesn't exist. It really feels like you're playing video games when you watch that movie. Like, there's one other movie like that. But it didn't happen too many times where like a movie was fully 3D cutscene PS2 era graphics type of thing. Yeah.
What a wild movie. But I'm in for those kinds of epics. We don't get them much anymore.
No.
And I'm not. Listen, I don't dislike Christopher Nolan at all. But it's not like I follow him.
Polar Express. That's the other one that does that.
Oh my! And I was thinking, there's no way it's what you're talking about. But I was gonna.
Those are the two
If
movies.
you want to see the creepiest animation on the planet, watch Polar Express.
And that's just such a great example of where we were at. That's the place.
No one was there except them. There was good stuff happening. Not on.
I want to see Polar Express 2, and it's like Incredibles 2, where they just do that animation, but like a slightly better lighting. I want to see it just like that, just as uncanny, but better lighting.
It's a great holiday movie, and I love the story, and it is kind of emotional, and I have a little bit of an attachment to it because I used to do the live Polar Express show, and so I have like this little attachment to it. But even when we were doing that show, did I do it for 2 years, 3 years? I don't know, whatever. But when we were doing that show, we would all talk about the animation, and anytime they would have it up, we would all be like, why does this have to be here? Do we have to look at this? Do we have to watch it?
It's a masterpiece.
But let's return real quick back to Harry Potter, because it's more than just politics.
All right. Yeah, right. We never really.
Did you watch the new trailer that dropped this week?
I saw the pictures. I didn't watch the trailer.
I'm one, like, I really try to be excuse me. I really try to be open-minded about things, right? And go into it and kind of let me see what they're going to give me. So
good for you.
I really
I'm just a pessimist, by the way.
I'm
like, let's see about this.
Yeah. I really don't have much interest in wanting to see the show, right? But I said, let me see what's going on. Let me watch the trailer. And
I thought it was going to be like a prequel. I didn't know it was a straight up rerun.
They're just gonna So I'm watching the trailer, and I'm really, really confused by some of the casting. I'm really
for what reason? All right, we'll continue. Let's hear all the complaints. We'll go back. Yeah.
Sorry, my sock's all twisted.
Oh yeah, we'll forgive your sock.
I'm really confused by some of the casting choices. I'm really confused by some of the portrayals.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, you're not showing me anything that makes this revolutionary or really much different at all from what we've already seen. So what's the point of this?
It's like a bad cover band.
Now, I get it. I get that if you're going to do, and I think this is what they're going to do, I could be wrong, but I think like each season will be a book.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
And maybe they'll treat it like that series of unfortunate events thing on Netflix, where it's more... it closely follows the books.
Yeah, so that's like the one thing that I can think that would really make this interesting is that you can really dive deeper into the books.
Yeah.
Because you have now, I don't know how many episodes they're going to do, but anywhere between 8 and 12 hours probably to present this book, right? As opposed to 2 hours.
Right.
So I can understand that part of it and maybe how that could be really interesting. But for some reason, and I'm not, it's hard because this is a child actor, and I'm not talking about him as a human. I'm talking about him as Harry Potter. I don't like it. There's just something I don't like. And it's not like he's not Daniel Radcliffe. It's just there's something I don't know. I don't want to get accused of bullying some kid.
Well, you have that same situation with The Last of Us, right? A lot of people just don't like that actress.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of these things where the studio and the people who are like behind the choice just default to, oh, you're bullying a kid. You just don't like the way she looks. You don't. No, she just doesn't resonate with audiences.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
You can deny that all you want, but it's just not hitting with people.
Yeah.
It's just not. And you're probably going to see the same thing because it's probably the kid just doesn't have the same charisma that Daniel Radcliffe
I don't know what it is.
But maybe not. Maybe this trailer misrepresents him. I'm probably going to be with
every
you.
picture-
I'm just assuming I'm with you because I already know I'm probably not going to be a big fan.
I don't know. There's just something that I find unsettling about the pictures they've chosen.
Why did they choose a smaller version of him? I think they're trying to plan ahead, and so that way he's going to age into the show. I think that's why they did it.
I don't know. There's something going on.
He looks a little
here.
too young for me. But I think they're trying to age him into the show. There's something in the mouth area? He's going in the mouth area.
And I don't know, but I'm also that's part of my tism, right? That's
right.
Like I get hyper focused on.
Okay, but a good question then would be, what do you think the difference? Like, what do you appreciate about the original Harry Potter that you think this one might be lacking? When you just look at this new one and you feel like there's some difference, what do you think you're appreciating in the original version? Like, what do you think are the characteristics that you are losing when you look at this new thing?
Great acting.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to say because we're talking about some great legends here like John Lithgow, right? But in all fairness,
so many great actors
in the trailer, all he does is turn around and you see him. He doesn't really, so I'm not really, I love John Lithgow. But for example, I just think Petunia and Vernon, the Dursleys, the aunt and uncle, I think they're horribly, horribly misrepresented in the film. I don't want to say miscast because I don't know.
In the film or the show?
Sorry, in the show. In the show. Like, I don't get it. Like, to me, no one who has read the Harry Potter book thinks that. And again, I'm not making this about the actor. It's about the representation on screen, right?
Right.
How they've dressed her, how they've done her hair and makeup, how they've created a character with her. Because I'm not saying this is her everyday actor life, but I just don't understand in what universe is that Aunt Petunia. If you've ever read the book, like, forget that the movie exists. If you've ever read the book, how in the hell is that Petunia?
Yeah.
I just so that really bugged me. And then Nick Frost is Hagrid. Listen, I love Nick Frost. I don't understand Hagrid. Why is Hagrid so? And I mean, it was just weird. And maybe
the voice.
Maybe it's just because Robbie Coltrane was Hagrid. I mean, but I think to me so far the quality of talent in the movies far surpasses the quality of talent in the show.
And who knows how they're being directed? Like, you can't even blame the cast.
That's
most people. And then you do filmmaking, so you know that. But a lot of people would just blame the actors,
right?
And it's not really their fault.
Just like you can't always just blame the director.
Yeah.
You have no idea what the producer was doing, what the studio was doing.
There's probably so much studio interference in this type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to always be like, that's wrong, that's bad because of that.
Yeah, because just imagine if you were at the helm of a project like that.
Because I have certainly, as an actor, I've been in a project that was not working for me, but it's also your job to do what you're told to do.
And it's a big role.
Yeah. There's certain situations where you feel you have the ability to speak up or maybe craft the performance a little better. And of course, a lot of that's the difference with an indie auteur or a studio film, or,
of course.
There's projects.
Well, and even a difference in direction styles. Some directors are going to let you open up and do your thing, and other directors don't want that at all.
Right.
So, and you could be however successful of an actor, you're going to hit that no matter where you go, because it's just no matter what level of success. There's different directors, just have different styles.
And there's going to be directors that are what I consider to be actors, directors, and directors that aren't. Like there's directors that really understand actors.
Like I would argue, you know, whatever people think about Tarantino, he's definitely an actor's director. Like he and whenever actors talk about working with him, they never have anything bad to say ever.
I'm kind of done with him now. He's really pissed me off.
He's a controversial guy.
Yeah.
And I think that I like him just because I like people who have too much to say. But he's got too much to say.
He's really, I mean, he's really gone too far the past couple of weeks.
I don't know. What did he do now? Did he do something new?
Oh, he's been attacked.
I know the whole Paul Dano thing.
Yeah, well, there was Paul Dano, there was Matthew Lillard. He just went on
That was all in one, though.
And then, well, they were two separate events. They just happened kind of back to back.
That was the same monologue, though. It was all the same clip. Like he mentioned them both in the same clip.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was mostly about Dano, and then at the very end, he tossed in Matthew Lillard.
They made it seem like so. Sorry that I messed that one up. They made it seem like it was two different events.
And the whole I think the podcast was him and another the guy who wrote American American Psycho. You know the guy who wrote that book? Do you know his name? I'm forgetting his name. But it was the writer of the novel, not the film.
Yeah.
But the novel. And so he's kind of notorious for also having some hot takes on the modern industry and all this. So I think
it's all in his book.
Yeah, right. And so I think Robert Easton Ellis, that's his name.
Yeah.
And so I think he brought.
All I could think of was Mary Lambert, but she was the director.
Solid memory on that because I wouldn't have gotten that one. And it's funny that film's directed by a woman. It makes it better, right?
Yeah.
But because it's one of the most misogynistic movies ever. But you ask her about it, she's like, no, you're not getting it right. You don't get it. Like it's really not. But anyway, it's really a comedy. But that film and what he said about like with the writing the book, he doesn't like most of the way that the modern industry is, and so I think someone like him talking to a Tarantino, he's gonna bring out that from Tarantino more than somebody else. Tarantino already does that, but then you get a guy who's prodding him and also says some shit. I'm pretty sure that was just that. That's how you had that dangerous concoction of It was a big story. I think it was blown up a little bit much. Because
but he kept doubling down.
It was good press for Paul Dano. I actually think it works out for Paul Dano in the end.
But that's the problem. Like just like when it came to, when it came to Kevin Hart and all the comments he made, that were,
What did Kevin Hart say? Bad negative stuff about an actor.
It was he was defending. Basically, he had gone on this little mini homophobic rant, and he was
Kevin Hart,
and he was defending it, and everyone on the planet was telling him that it was wrong, and he just kept doubling down and doubling down and doubling down and refused to apologize.
Was he trying to be funny? Was it like a comedic rant?
I don't know, but that's I don't know, but it was kind of the same thing, like. If Quentin Tarantino had just said his piece and moved on, cool. But the fact that he put so much energy into doubling down over and over and over, it's like, well, now you're just really a useless fucking dick.
Yeah.
Like, there's just...
What else did he do recently,
It's the whole Patricia Arquette thing.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think it was last week. Could be 2 weeks, but I think it was last week.
And he said she sucks.
Well, yeah, she made a comment about... Now I'm really going to be forgetting.
I can pull it up if you...
Yeah, let's pull it up.
Let's see what... This is my producer moment.
There you go. Let's pull it up because I want to get it right.
Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, no. It was...
Not her?
It was Rosanna Arquette.
Rosanna Arquette. Rosanna Arquette.
Yeah.
And I'm going to type in Quentin Tarantino and let's just see if it pops right up.
And, and his response and everything was just like, just shut the fuck up.
All right. I'm interested.
Listen, I'm all for
He's a little drama queen, this guy, the Quentin Tarantino.
I gotta resituate myself in this couch of doom here.
The couch of doom. Jeez. All right. So in March 2026, a public disagreement emerged between actress Rosanna Arquette and director Quentin Tarantino, primarily focusing on Tarantino's frequent use of the N-word in his films. All right.
Which she's entitled to an opinion. He's entitled to his. I just think he takes it to the next takes it to the next level and makes it really such a disgusting personal attack on her, and I just think it's pretty vile.
So here we go. It starts with her criticism. Arquette, who played Jody in Tarantino's 1994 film Pulp Fiction, told the Sunday Times that while she considers the film iconic and great, she is over Tarantino's use of the N-word in his scripts. She stated, "I cannot stand that Tarantino has been given a hall pass."
She's Southern now.
Yeah, that made her Southern. I don't know why. It just occurred to me. "It's not art. It's just racist and creepy." In the same interview, Arquette noted that she was the only person involved who didn't receive a back end, which is a share of the box office profits, folks, for Pulp Fiction, blaming producer Harvey Weinstein. Dun dun dun.
Heard that name before.
Oh, shit. Tarantino fired back with a statement questioning why Arquette was criticizing the film decades later and suggesting she was doing it for publicity. Fighting words. I wish I could do a Tarantino impression. Let's see what I can do here. Tarantino wrote, "After I gave you a job and you took the money to trash it for what I suspect is very cynical reasons, shows decided to lack class, no less honor." See, that was bad. That was really bad. I wish I could do Tarantino.
That was kind of like Christopher Walken.
That was kind of Walken.
Was chewing Quentin Tarantino.
You gotta watch. You put the watch in your ass. Yeah. All right, and then
he went on like for days and days, just saying some just really inappropriate things about it. Like
he said. He defended his use of the word as necessary for historical accuracy. So dead ninja storage. I mean, let's break that one down. What's the historical accuracy on that one? Because, I mean, that's like the one where it's like you could... Django Unchained, that's excusable. But if you pull up Pulp Fiction and Dead Ninja Storage, dude, I mean, how can you explain that away? It's just so 90s. It's like a very 90s clip. It's something that's like, this is how the world was. Because that would you'd never have a director make a choice like that now, unless it's a film like Django and it's a period piece.
You know, here's the thing, you know, too, is that if it's of that world and it's of that character,
right?
Why is it
Tarantino's
so wrong?
argument?
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I mean. Like, I get his. I'm not mad about his reply.
Yeah.
You know, he went on though, and then he makes it personal, and he started saying,
he said I gave her a job and she wants
and
all
then
this.
then he goes on. There's more.
Oh,
like there's more
it.
after that.
I wonder what he says. But you know what though? It might be more personal than we realize, in the sense that you don't know what went on between them
don't make it
other
public
than
then.
this. But she did by saying something in the first place. Because it sounds like she talked about him first. And then he's responding and he's saying, "Oh, well, this bitch." But I don't know. I don't know what... I'm suggesting that maybe there is truth to the fact that there was more to it between them than that.
Yeah.
But they worked together so long ago. Who knows? Maybe they haven't talked in 20 years, and he does just feel some type of way. Because it was they were talking about a movie from 1994. Mm-hmm. So that's 22 years ago now.
Yeah. But also the world's changed.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course the public has kind of naturally soured on Tarantino's previous use of such words. I don't think that he could do such a thing in the same way that he has in the past. Even in the way he did it in Django, I think maybe the public wouldn't respond the same exact way. Because Django's 2012, 2014. It's been a while.
Really? Wow.
It's been a while. It's not. Maybe it's not that. That's I'm gonna look that up just for shits and giggles. But I want to say it's 2012 because that's the first Quentin Tarantino, 2012. There it is. It's the first Quentin Tarantino movie I ever saw.
Oh, wow.
And I saw it in theaters. I saw it with my dad, and my dad just said, "Oh, Quentin Tarantino, it's good."
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay, Dad."
I played a role where I was a plantation owner, and a really bad one. And it's nerve-wracking because I was the only...
For a film, or?
This was for stage.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure the only white person in the cast, because you never saw the rest of my family in this. And it was really, and I say the word a lot, let me tell you.
It was in the script.
Oh yeah.
You weren't ad-libbing.
No. So we say no. So it was, but
we really wish you would stop method acting.
but I've done a lot of wild, beefy stage roles where they're not nice people, right? And so it's not like having to say that or get into a controversial topic or anything is unusual for stage performances.
And I think
for some of the roles I've done, but
if you were to water it down, it would not be the same thing.
No, I don't think so. But it was very unnerving to really get in there and say it the first couple of times.
Oh, I bet.
Because I also did a lot of horrible physical things to these people on stage.
Yeah.
It was in the script.
Yeah, but just the act of doing such a thing,
Yeah. The first couple of times, it's kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? And there is, once the cast really gets to know you, like that barrier kind of comes down. But, for some people, it really doesn't.
It's an interesting
They want to
thing.
hold that against you. And
I imagine, though, it's along the lines of like just playing a villain and playing the heel. Like, imagine it's tapping into something like that, where it's like you just have to be radically understanding to a certain point to even play such a character effectively. I think you really have to be. That's why actors have to be a little crazy. They have to be really, you have to be able to think outside of yourself in such a way. Like, what would a person with these motivations do or think? How would they respond and react?
Because that's when it's not you, and that's what I enjoy most about acting, is being someone who's really not me. There's always going to be a part of you in every character, I think, but I'm much more into the character acting and really becoming someone who's not me.
It's more interesting.
Yeah. But along with what you were just saying, even audiences though have a hard time separating the actor from. And I've gotten that before. I've gotten where
Walter White, like Bryan Cranston is Walter White forever.
Yeah.
It's same with Jesse Pinkman and Aaron Paul. Like, it's because as an audience, what are you supposed to do? How do you break that? Like the guy who played all these TV actors. I mean, fucking Tony Soprano. He's Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Another one, Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes in Walking Dead. He's always that. I don't give a fuck what you tell me.
Yeah, who broke free of it though? I feel like even though Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, Friends. Right. She did. Well, I don't know, man.
I mean, if
that's arguable.
I mean, if she does a rom-com, I feel like you're still along the ride.
Yeah, but
with Rachel,
aren't you?
But
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if she broke free.
Yeah, but
it's always Rachel.
But for example, I watch Morning Show and I don't sit there and feel like I'm watching Rachel.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? And she's done some really. There was that Chicago-based movie that came out roughly.
She did one
2006-ish. Oh my God, it was so. I think she was freaking brilliant, and it was unlike anything she had ever done. I can't. It was not Clive Barker. The actor with the dark hair and the blue eyes, Clive. I don't think it's. Is it Clive Owen?
Maybe.
Oh man, but I think it's called Derailed.
Okay, in Chicago.
Yes, it's Chicago-based. She's freaking brilliant, and I think it was really underrated because it wasn't a big blockbuster movie or anything, and she wasn't Rachel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
But that's also, Courtney Cox had to fight really hard to get Gale Weathers in Scream because they just thought she would be goofy Monica. They just thought she would be too likable, too lovable.
And, even back to Bryan Cranston, he was previously known as Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. And that was actually him breaking free of Hal when he became Walter White. He was actually escaping the other person. It just got worse.
Yeah.
He actually became known as somebody else primarily. And now he's coming back as Hal. Now it's coming full circle. He's doing Hal again.
I know. That's going to be. I never really watched Malcolm in the Middle very much. I mean, I saw it, of course.
It's a great show. It's actually I would even argue, one of the best coming of age shows from that era, and like shows where because it really does achieve those things that it's trying to achieve. Like it feels like a show for a whole family and all that. I mean, I like that show a lot.
Anytime I saw it, I really liked it. It just wasn't one that I followed.
Yeah.
But back, I've played some of these roles that are not the best or the nicest, right? and the audience members will really turn on you, like on like afterwards outside, or like going to your car, or I mean it's really wild.
Like some of them. Do you just mean like they're looking at you different?
Oh no, they'll say things.
What do they say?
I've had them come after me before. I had one woman realize that she was seeing me in a different show from one of the ones she had seen me in before, and she's like, "You're the one that," blah, 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 blah. And they think you're and I'm like, you literally just saw me in a different role. Do you really not think that I'm a different person? You do know that I'm not the person on stage, right?
No.
Like it's really interesting.
And they'll not know that. Yeah.
And they'll be and I kind of take pride in it, where they'll, especially like after the show I was talking to you about, we would come out after to do some photos and things sometimes. And, people really didn't want me out there, but then they would like talk to me, and they would start to come around. But it was very interesting, because they really wanted to hate me. I mean, they hate the character, which is great, because you should.
Yeah.
I feel like that means I pulled it off, right? And they'll be really kind of and I even have one of my weapons with me when I would go out and do the photo thing. And they're just, they just don't quite know how to process that the person they were watching, that they have so much contempt and hate for, is standing right here.
Yeah.
And some of them come around, some of them don't. But it's interesting, because you'll feel it. You'll feel all the assholes pucker, and they're all... It's really interesting.
What do you think that is?
I think it means I did my job.
Yeah.
And I think it means we all did our job. We created that story on stage. I was just one piece of the story, right?
Yeah.
But I think, in my view, I look at it as I did my job. I became someone else, and I made the audience feel.
Right.
And in a role like that, that's the goal, isn't it? To me?
Yeah, it is. It's to make the audience feel what you intend, or maybe even what you don't intend. I mean, I always say that I believe professional wrestling is closer to reality than most other forms of art, and people don't realize this. And the way you can tell is basically what you just described, where it's like people are so invested in something that is fictional. And, it explains the phenomena you just described, where it's like, why would somebody watch something that's truly fictional? We all know it's fictional. We all enter this room with the agreement we are watching a fictional show, and then they still hold disdain for the individual portraying what we know is a fictional character. We know that, but for some reason we still hold on to those emotions. And it's the same thing with professional wrestling, where it's like, you could ask the question, why does anybody care? Like, why does that matter? Why would anybody invest emotions into something like this? But it's because they choose to believe things. And we all choose to believe all sorts of things all the time. And if I really believe it, if I buy into the narrative because it's effectively sold to me, then I could believe anything. And that's the beauty of it, right? That's why I think like the best bad guys in professional wrestling are incredible. There's a certain freedom to it, because you get to say the worst things and do the
melodrama.
worst things.
Wrestling's just melodrama.
Yeah, but it's the walking the line of the meta narrative of, we all know this is fake, but how do you get me to really hate you? Like, how do you get me to actually not like you? Even though I want to like you, because you're the bad guy and I want to like the bad guy, how do you get me to really not like you? And it's the same exact thing in a film. It's the same exact thing, where it's like, if you're the bad guy in a movie, you kind of want to like the bad guy, but the bad guy's got to be so good at being a bad guy that you still kind of, oh, that piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to, but it's not because they're conniving and they're evil. It's because you believe that they're their choices and they're just really a piece of shit. But and to be a piece of shit effectively, you have to think, oh no, this piece of shit has a heart. Like, this piece of shit has a soul. Like, whenever you hear actors who play bad guys, it's always funny hearing them describe the character,
because they're still human.
They give so much grace to the character, and it's like some guy who murders 10 people in a movie.
Yeah, but then it's that whole like, okay, but what created that monster?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because ultimately, they're all these people are humans. All these characters are human on some level.
And I think the reason audiences connect to these things is, I think that if it's done well, a story, you're really seeing you're applying yourself to the situations that you're seeing on a stage. Like you're imagining yourself while you watch it. Like, oh, I would or would not do that, and I think that's why it resonates with people, right? Because it's even though it's fake and even though it's not real, it's like, oh, I would never fucking do what he just did, like that, and you believe that for sure. That's real.
And that's the same thing with when you look at like a disaster movie or you look at a horror film and someone's making a decision. You're like, well, I would never do that. Well, okay, it's easy to sit back and say that, but have you ever been chased at 2 a.m. by a stranger with a knife and a mask that's trying to kill you? You know, I mean, of course, there's lots of bad...
You actually might freeze. You might think you won't freeze. You might freeze.
You know, there's lots of bad decisions that people make in movies in these situations, and of course, you also have to tell a story.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes it's like, well, you don't know what you would do. You could sit here and think like that was a dumb move, but I don't know. Just like I've never, I have been fortunate enough to not have to live through a serious earthquake. I mean, like be involved with one, you know? So I really, I can think what I would do and what I should do, but I mean, if it's a 9.4 and the entire earth is opening up, I don't know. Like, what am I really going to do?
Yeah. What would you do? There's like a sinkhole. There's a sinkhole in this room right now.
Yeah.
Because like you'd think you wouldn't look over the hole and look inside of it, but maybe you would.
No.
Maybe you would stand right next to the edge and not even run away from the sinkhole.
But I know there's 4 windows there. There's a window in the bathroom. There's a door there. There's a door right outside as I go out. And there's a window in front of me and a door in the back.
You're ready for sinkholes.
I'm ready. Like and that's another part of my wonderful brain, right? Like I have to know where everything is. I have to know where the exits are. I have to know how someone could get into where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think it's and I think like with that too, if you, it's like we were saying earlier about like actors not, there's only so much you can do. Like an actor that is known for giving too much input is, what's his name? He was the original Edward Norton. So he's like known for like changing scripts and bringing in rewrites and shit. Like the last thing you want an actor to do. And sometimes his scripts are better. So like to his credit, he actually has done great things in the times he's done this. But it's like the type of thing where if you're an actor and there's a choice that's made in a script that you don't agree with, most of the time, the better thing for you to do is to find a way to justify the choice in your mind and like craft like a narrative around that. Like, why would my character do this? But it's not up to you what your character does. So now you have to decide why your character would do this. You have to like make up a reason. You know, it's like the reverse engineering of that, where it's like, you know, because even you're reading, you're thinking, what the fuck? Why would I go and open the door? Nobody's outside of the door. It's like, no, you idiot. It's a horror movie. You got to open the door. Yeah. Well, it's just it. You know, there was something, I won't get into any detail about the film I just directed, right? And ultimately I turn around and I go, it's a fucking horror movie.
Like, they're like asking about motivation.
There was something, and you know, like I said, I can't dive into
like,
it.
It doesn't make sense. You're like, I know.
And I'm like, y'all, it's a horror movie. It's okay. We're not making.
This is not Citizen Kane.
No. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah. You know what's funny? That's on my list. I still haven't seen Citizen Kane.
There's some great physical releases of it too.
Are there?
Yeah.
It's probably out there in 4K digital restoration.
There's
now,
Criterion in 4K, and I have like 3 different box set versions of it from over the years.
There's actually so many movies that where it's like, oh, I've never seen that. But you're actually right on time because they just released it in 4K for the first time ever. Yeah. You know, a movie that you'd think is in 4K that's not, Fight Club. Can't find Fight Club in 4K. You'd think like, oh, it's got to be out there. Nope. No Fight Club in 4K.
Took a long time for 7 too.
Even that? Is that there? Is that out there?
I think so, because I think I have it.
I thought I couldn't find it. I thought they had the Blu-ray that was in 1080p, but I thought there wasn't a 4K.
Well, now I'll have to go back. Well, actually, I have a spreadsheet of my physical media collection, so we can check in a little bit.
4K, folks, big fucking difference. Literally, just look at the fucking file size. A 1080p movie is like 4 gigs. A 4K movie is like 50 gigs, 40 gigs for the same exact length, same exact everything. And it's not file size is everything. It's just like, in my opinion,
It's the amount of data that's in that file size.
yes.
Yeah.
And it even there's an argument to be made that it's not always best. There's plenty of 4K
Yeah.
restorations that aren't
Should
as
not have
good.
happened.
Shouldn't have happened. The color grading isn't as good because you got to understand the restoration process isn't as simple as just blowing something up.
Not if it's being done correctly.
Yeah.
There are lots of releases that do that. They just upscale and have a nice life.
And those are the kind of bad ones.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where it's like there's something wrong about it.
You want the
watch it
one
and-
where the director or the original DP's involved.
And even then,
Yeah.
you'll have debates over which version is better because it's not going to be a direct 1-1 comparison. And this is just something you run into with film in general. You just can never get away from it. Now you have these videos on YouTube where it's like 16 millimeter scans of movies. If you haven't seen this, it's super interesting because there's videos that break it down pretty well, better than I ever could. But really what's going on is someone is grading the footage. Like they have the 16 millimeter scan, but because the way these scans are, I don't think the frames are consistent in the color grading or something like this. So the way that the person who's making the video is color grading it is a choice, is what I'm saying. It's not the way that it's presented. You're thinking, oh, this 16 millimeter scan looks so good. But it's not quite that simple. Really, it's the person who made the video had the 16 millimeter scan that looked good, but then they color graded it differently than the original film.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of why you like it, but it does have a look to it. What's really interesting is that the top isn't cut off. So you actually get more of the frame in the same way that like these IMAX things are with Dune, how they're releasing it like that. So it's cool to see. I think, did I already say Spider-Man's one where you can find it? Spider-Man in 16 millimeter. And so it'll be Spider-Man, but you can see, even some parts you can see the boom mic because they were never intending for you to see that. Like there's little things like that.
Where they punched in on when they were, wow.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting, again, what is lost when you convert from film to digital and what we've learned to think of as the best version, because it's not arguably the best version. I mean, and it's also crazy the conditions to which we can watch films now. You can see Citizen Kane in 4K. Like for the longest time, dude, you would see that movie in the worst quality if you did.
Isn't it
see
wild
it.
to watch some of the? By the way, there's a boom shadow in the first Scream.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And then you got to consider the fact that we're in a world now you can watch movies at home in this beautiful quality. Like streaming is still not comparable to just having the actual file.
I don't think
or
so.
having the digital media. It will never be comparable. But still, back in the day, what it used to be is you either saw it in theaters or you saw the shitty DVD. You either saw it in
Let's
theaters.
go back to VHS.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
VHS is even worse. That's like like for folks now. That's like if you put YouTube on 240p. That's like the same thing, and that's how you're consuming the content.
Yeah.
So we're just so used to seeing stuff looking good. Where it's like back then, you had to either go to the theater to see it looking like that, or you just accepted that nothing looks that good.
And then you had to adjust the tracking in your VCR to get the lines to match up.
And you'd be like, damn, dude, Jurassic Park looked so good when I saw it 4 years ago in the theater, but it just doesn't hit the same on my VHS.
No.
That's what's going on.
What was your? Do you know what your first 4K was that you bought?
Oh my God, it's a hard question because I think the first, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the first movie I've ever really watched in 4K that I bought in 4K. I can think of the first movie I saw in Blu-ray in 1080p, and that was the movie Gamer, because we had that for the PS3, and that's do you know that movie? That's a movie with the guy from Dexter, Michael C. Hall, and then it's also got the actor who is in Gladiator, Russell Crowe. It's got Russell Crowe and Michael C. Hall.
I didn't know Michael C. Hall was in that.
He's the bad guy. And it's not the best movie, but it was the first Blu-ray experience I ever had, and I just remember thinking, oh my God. And that was 1080p. That's what's so crazy. That was the past.
Do you know the first movie released on Blu-ray?
No.
Twister.
Wow. See, it's random ass movies, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, you go for it. Tell me.
So the first 4K that I bought
4K
and watched
is tough. That's
at
hard to
home
remember.
on my beautiful TV and a brand new 4K player, right? Was Jaws.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Universal, it was the brand new release.
That's such a good one.
If you guys want to see a 4K done right, watch the 4K of Jaws.
They did a really good job.
It's
yeah, I can tell
beautiful.
you a 4K done right. Paris, Texas. Have you seen that?
No.
Have you seen the original though?
No.
Oh, so dude, fucking 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Amazing movie. Like one of the best movies I've ever seen type of movie. I liked it that much. It's a very human movie. But the restoration is fucking phenomenal. Like just the colors, the way everything looks. Like if you were to look at it side by side with the original, they did such a good job. And that's what, like I said, that was restored within the last couple of years. So like nowadays you have the privilege of seeing that movie in that quality. If you would have watched it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And it looks so fucking good.
That's what's great. You know, we touched on it with Citizen Kane, but that's what's great about a lot of these really big classic movies. You know, when you look at, you know, I have all the...
I think it's closer to the original intention when you see it this way.
Probably.
And because I imagine they were watching it on film and they could blow it up and look at it. And we just got used to seeing it in lesser quality over time.
But
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So when you go back and look, you know, I have, you know, all the Universal classic Universal monster, the classic monsters, you know, in 4K, and I have all the Hitchcocks in 4K, and like Psycho is a beautiful 4K. I mean, just beautiful, and
a different experience. It's I would even say it's fundamentally different when you watch like Hitchcock films in 4K versus, you know, the previous standard.
They're just, you know, but then you go back and you look at something like a Citizen Kane or a Metropolis or
Metropolis. That's in 4K?
Isn't it Criterion?
My God, I didn't know they remastered that.
Yeah, I mean,
you can watch that for free on YouTube. A lot of these movies you can watch for free on YouTube. That's another wild thing about like classic films is so much of it you can just find for free because nobody's policing it.
Yeah,
and Metropolis is one of those.
Yeah. And then you've got you know, when you look at like Casablanca and Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz, I mean, these are ones where the studios really put serious time, effort, and money behind the restorations, right? Yeah. Because they're, you know, they're in the Library of Congress and they're protected. They're protected by the AFI, and so these are American cinematic legends, right? So these are ones that you know are being done really, really, really well. But of current ones, you know, if you look at you know, Scream 1 and 2, if you look at I Know What You Did Last Summer, if you look at the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the 4Ks are all, the Friday the 13th, the 4Ks are all really good. Now, with the big Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street collection that just came out.
Oh, I actually did see I didn't watch the, that's funny you mentioned that, because I watched, that was my initial viewing experience of the first film was that. That's wild that you say that.
The first two look really good, and then after that, it's kind of...
I didn't watch the others because I have not stepped into any of the other Nightmare on Elm.
Really?
The first one I ever saw was New Nightmare, believe it or not.
Which is one of my favorite movies.
Fucking awesome. And also so ahead of its time with the way that it was being so meta about everything. Like, dude, that's fucking nuts that movie. And... watching the first film, having seen that, like that, you should never watch them in the order I watched them, because now I realize how much of that film was calling back to the OG movie. Yep. And it was like, it was supposed to be like poking you in all these ways, like, oh, look what we're doing. And as a kid, I didn't even get that part of it. I just thought, oh, this shit's wild, you know? Yeah. But it does it so effectively. So yeah, I'm nervous to step anywhere out of the first film, because the first film's kind of the passion project, the what put him on the map, and I really think
there's
the
nothing
character,
like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Period.
Yes, there's nothing like it, and I think like this, the reason that I think New Nightmare does what it does so well is because I think it's trying to recreate what the first film did with the character, from my understanding, because like I said, I haven't seen the others, but I think the character was ambiguous to start, and it was genuinely supposed to be kind of like this scary, like, it's supposed to be kind of like he has one-liners, but he's not supposed to be goofy or like a bit. He's supposed to be...
Well, he becomes a bit in the
That's
others.
my point. Yeah. And so I think that they tried to bring it back to that with that film, where they went far in the other direction as you move forward. That's why I don't like watching shows where I know the show's going to get bad. Like, I'd rather just keep it good. So I'm nervous to watch the other films.
Well, when it comes to Nightmare, you know, 1 and 3 and then New Nightmare are... listen, I love all of them. And then there's the two movies of Lisa Wilcox, who I freaking love, and they're all good. They're all good, fun movies to me.
Yeah, and Robert Englund is incredible.
Yeah. So just because I'm saying 1 and 3 are really the ones, I'm not trying to put down the other ones.
Yeah.
But if I were you, I would watch part 3.
I'm gonna watch them in order, but 3,
okay.
It's worth it to get to 3. 2 is worth it to get to 3, and then, I mean, I want to get to New Nightmare again because, dude, I haven't seen that since I was a kid. But also, you were mentioning the restorations, so like the first 2 look good.
The first 2 look really like excellent
because it looked great.
And then it's kind of questionable after that.
And who knows? Maybe they just couldn't get everything they needed.
And I'm really pissed off that there's no new features. I mean, I think there's like some kind of interview that has not been on the other releases, maybe, but
that's it.
I mean, come on, this is a huge anniversary mega release steel box set, and there's like nothing new.
Yeah,
that really sucks.
So you tell me, because I'm not too much of a collector. So when it comes to like the box sets and all the art for all this, do they put all the bells and whistles like they always have, or has over the years has that changed?
It depends. Nowadays there's a lot of we're just putting another version out to make another buck, and they don't care about it.
Yeah.
And then there's
GTA 5 released for the 7th time.
And then there's releases that are put out where there's a lot of thought and a lot of care.
Yeah.
Now, I will say there's some cool packaging with this one, and
it's the first time they've ever done the films in 4K.
Yeah, like I have I have the DVD box set, the really cool one that really had everything. I had the Blu-ray one, which was okay, and I thought this one would maybe be a little better. I'm really glad to have it on a 4K, but I was just disappointed overall. Because as we touched on, part of the reason I love physical media is all of the features.
Yeah, and it's a lost art in a sense. That's why I even mentioned it, is because I don't think, like, it's crazy. The reason I mentioned it originally was because you said the thing about how there's so much content now. Like, it's ironic that there's not all this bonus content and special. Like, it should just be fucking social media videos. They should be putting that out as social media content, but they don't. You don't see all deleted scenes and bonus content. And stuff still exists.
That's one thing Scream 7 marketing did get right.
They did that?
There's a lot of behind-the-scenes content and photos and stuff that they were releasing. But where I ran into a problem was right before the film came out, they did a blitz where they were posting some more behind-the-scenes stuff. And they posted a picture of a character in a certain costume, and immediately I knew from the trailer that was how this person was going to die, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was so pissed.
And that's the catch. And that's actually the argument against why you wouldn't want to be posting too much of this stuff on social media, right? Yeah. Is you don't want it to be the enemy of good, I guess, in the sense where it's like, it's better for us to post more, but then it's actually shooting yourself in the foot for the people who want to consume the art, because you're just giving away the good bits, right?
Yeah.
It's dangerous, with film especially. I mean, especially if you're like if it's like a horror film. Like, are you familiar with Mike Capra? Do you know him?
I don't know.
So he's a filmmaker from around here. And when I was talking with him, he told me he didn't want to reveal the end of his film because it's like a short 13-minute horror film. It's got a little twist at the end. It's called Don't Call Me Baby. It's great. I would recommend it. It's a short little watch. You can find it on YouTube, folks. Warwick Motion Pictures, Don't Call Me Baby. And Mike's an awesome guy. It's one of the longest episodes of the show. It's like 4 hours. He's cool. But anyway, so I was talking with Mike, and he didn't want to reveal the end of his movie. And, it's like trying to stay away from spoilers. But then I remember scrolling on social media and dude, that picture gives away the end of the movie. Like, he keeps posting pictures that give away the end of the movie. So I don't know what the rule is. Are we giving it away or not? Because I'm pretty sure we're giving it away. So I'm just going to say it since it's on his social media. So if you look up the movie, if you see it, you see it. It's a vampire type of thing where it's like, she says, "Don't call me baby," and then he calls her baby while she's giving him oral activities. He's like, "Oh, baby," and then she warned him. She said, "Don't call me baby," and so then she becomes a vampire. And it's kind of like the idea is it's how you would originate a character, right? Like, you have a vampire who travels around and kills guys, and her name's Baby, and she says, "Don't call me baby," and that's the idea is it's the origin of a character. But it's kind of impossible to conceal that with the marketing if that's what it's about, unless you're really smart about it, because that's the money shot, dude. It's the fucking vampire. You want to put that on the poster, you want to put it everywhere. So that's the tough part. And it seems as if he crumbled, is what I'm saying. It seems as if at first he was like, no, let's keep it a secret. And then he realized, oh, no, I gotta tell people. It's a vampire movie.
Wow.
Because it's tough. How are you going to market something, especially a 13-minute short? The whole thing leads up to that moment. What else are you going to show? All the bits that are just the tension leading up to it, or the money shot? What are you going to show in the marketing?
That's the thing, too, I'm thinking about, with Sin right now. Of course, I mean, we just finished filming. Yeah, we have a first cut, but I mean, it's nowhere near a finished product, right?
Yeah, and you told me it was shorter.
Yeah, I think it's going to run about 13 minutes.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking, I don't necessarily want a full trailer, but what am I going to pull for a teaser?
It's tough.
Right? Like, what?
You saw Loads. So the Loads premieres yesterday. I would maybe ask them for advice, because I think they did a good job with editing the teasers for that movie and the trailers they put out, because it's a short. I mean, it's 30 minutes, but still it's pretty short, and I don't think they gave away too much with it. I really don't think they give away too much. They give away the essence of it, but really, especially the first one they did, it was like they did this whole thing with like the rhythm of jerking off, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And it's like it works as the music for the trailer. Like the soundtrack of the trailer is a guy jerk. Like I can't remember how they did it, but it's almost like drumming, like a drum roll. And so something like that, where I think that's why I was saying earlier, it's almost like an editing job. Like if you have a good editor, if you have someone who's smart and knows how to recontextualize stuff, that's really, I think, where trailers can shine.
Well, and what's interesting, I mean, maybe to some people, but just because you're a film or video editor doesn't mean you're a great trailer editor, and vice versa.
That's why I said it was an art form.
Yeah.
Yep, because it's its own art form.
Yeah.
Because it's all about context. It's really all about context, and what you got to consider it like this. Like, you are showing this to someone who knows nothing about this, and everything you show them is revealing something. Like, everything matters. Every single piece of information matters, and you have to be very mindful about what you show people. That's how I think about it. That's what I think a trailer has to do. It has to be thoughtful about what it tells you, you know? And that's how you know it's done right, is when you walk away from it thinking, like, well, what did that even really say, Because if it just fucking shows you the film, it just showed you the film. Anybody can just edit together a couple clips and call it a trailer. And I think that's probably what a lot of trailers end up being, because it's an art form. So it's hard to do it right, But I don't know. It's something I've done for fun. I did this. It's on my YouTube channel. It's If Friday Was a Horror Movie, because I was watching the movie. And have you seen the movie Friday?
God, not in. So I mean, I have seen it, but probably when it came out.
The only reason it occurred to me is I want to say the phone was ringing in the film. There's this thing that happens where the phone rings and he picks up the phone and nobody's on the other end.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, oh, that's like a horror movie. And then I thought, like, oh, that'd be funny if that was like on a trailer and you turn it into a horror movie, and it's like he picks up the phone and no one's on the other end, And then the way I edit the trailer, it's like Debo's the big scary monster villain, and like, because the whole movie they're worried about Debo and all this, like, oh, what's Debo gonna do? And so, but that was the fun part for me, is I was thinking, how could I recontextualize the scenes from this movie that I just watched and make it look like it's a horror movie? Like, it's almost like a fun exercise if you do it right. And that's a fun thing you could do with all sorts of movies. I think horror is an easy genre to do. Like, take X and turn it into horror, because I don't know what else. Like, a fun one that I've tried to think about doing, but it would be harder, because I remember I had the movie and I was gonna do it, but I just couldn't think of how to do it. Was Mission Impossible, but a stoner comedy. I feel like that's a fun concept, But and you can only use content from the film. To me, that's what makes it fun. You have to only use. So you
just cut a fan trailer as if it's.
Yeah, and you use music and you treat it as if it's a normal trailer.
They do that with.
I think it's so funny.
They do that with a lot of Disney movies.
Yeah, make Lion King as a horror would be funny.
I like watching those when they come up on YouTube.
I realized when I was doing it, like, I could really, like, if I could do that more, I could make a habit of it, because it's so fun. Like, the end result is so funny to me. Like, it's so gratifying, because it's like, if you do it right, it really works. You know? And like those videos can do well. If this is all about the algorithm, but I've seen plenty of those videos do fantastic, and it's an editing exercise. Yeah, that's really what it is. David I don't know if it was David Fincher. I think it's the guy who did the music for one. Darren Aronofsky. I want to say it was him. But I think he did. He re-edited Indiana Jones in black and white, and he did it to the music of. It was like a 9 Inch Nails album, and the whole thing was like an exercise of like, what could he show you visually?
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm not worried about it. What could he show you visually without any dialogue? Like, how could he communicate the events of Indiana Jones just through editing and just through editing choices alone? And that's, I think, I can't remember where he released it, because obviously you can't put it on YouTube, but he did his own cut of Indiana Jones in like black and white. And shit like that to me is just so cool. I really like the idea of recontextualizing something. That's why I think trailers, like you said, are an art form.
Yeah.
Because I think really that's what you're doing at the fundamental level. It's all about like giving an audience what you think they should be given, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because like we said, like it's such an art, and you need the audience to be invested and interested.
Yeah.
But you need them to not have too much information. So it's
and like again, you're drawing from the source material.
Yeah.
So how much are you going to use, and what are you going to use, and when, and how, and why?
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff matters a lot. And one thing I noticed when I was doing that trailer exercise too is the music, dude. The music for a trailer is so effective. Like, trailer music is kind of the whole fucking thing.
Especially when it's the same song in 300,000 trailers.
Well, dude, there was this video I just saw on YouTube, and it was great because it was like, titled "Every Trailer You've Ever Seen" or something like this, right? And there was no visuals to the video. It was just text on the screen, and the whole thing was audio. So it was just like, it was the trailer music, and then in like the voiceover, it was like the guy was narrating what he was doing. And now I'm introducing the film, and it was like the whole thing was just like playing on the motifs. I can't think of the word. The tropes of trailers.
Yeah.
It's playing on the tropes of trailers, and so because we all know them, believe it or not, we all know how trailers work. And then there's that thing where it's a rehashed like cover of an old song, but moody. Like out of nowhere, it's this female voice, and she's singing the lyrics to "Smells Like Teen Spirit,"
Yeah.
and it's the trailer for the movie of the summer.
Yeah. But they actually did that really well with the trailer for the Candyman, the new Candyman, from a couple years ago. I did kind of like, I have serious problems with the movie. And
I don't think it was received well.
I don't. We have stories that I won't talk about it, because I actually filmed on that.
Oh, no way! Well, it's Chicago. It's a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
Shout out Cabrini Green.
I have some interesting set story, but something I won't. Sorry, guys. But I really, really liked what they did with the trailer.
Yeah.
And I liked how I'm not ruining anything as a trailer, but the whole, Destiny's Child, Say My Name, because the whole thing with Candyman is Say My Name. It's one of his primary lines from the first movie, and so I really kind of liked that, and they did that well. And it was the original song, just remixed, right? I kind of liked that. I really dug what they did with the song in the trailer.
Yeah. You could do it well. I much as I hated the latest season of Stranger Things, I really like that they kept using that Upside Down song, because it's almost like a no-brainer. Like, how the fuck did they not use that
Stranger
before?
Things.
Good for you. It's the same with like Game of Thrones. I mean, like, if you're capable of watching one season of something, like I would say watch season 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones. Stranger Things, just watch the first season. Just watch the first season, you're done. Because I mean, it was supposed to be an anthology show. It was supposed to be a one and done, but it just was too successful for its own good. That's really what happened. They wanted it to be an
just
open
like
and shut.
3.
Yeah. They wanted it to be an open and shut thing, and then it ended up becoming so much fucking more than that, because it just made too much money.
Yeah.
Just did too good. Folks, you don't want success. You don't want it. I mean, it's interesting with horror now, because it seems like success happens backwards. It seems like with horror, that's what, like with the "Don't Call Me Baby" thing, what I've realized is that that's kind of the template. It's become, you make a horror villain in another product, and if you're lucky, people like that character, and you can end up in making more out of the character. You don't make a Freddy Krueger or a Jason or a Jigsaw like you used to. You make a different thing and just hope it catches, and then you can make the origins of your character. And like Terrifier is a great example, where they kind of have really made a template now, where the first film is kind of just whatever the fuck. It's kind of cheap horror. It's good, but it's not a character horror movie.
There's not much story.
Yeah, and then over time, they were able to get into this character because the audience gave them the opportunity to even do that because of the success of the film. And another one now, too, I guess it's more mainstream popular now than it would have been probably 6 months ago, is with Weapons and that whole character Gladys, right? Because with the Oscars, they did so much shit with that. But before that, I don't think most people really knew what that was. But that character is now being set up to be a horror film.
Yeah,
monster.
she's getting a prequel, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that film was not really that. Like the film was, she was just a horror villain in the film. But I think that he's just following that template that I'm describing, where it's like, we're going to put this character in this film, and if people really like it, if audiences like it, then we can flesh out the character. Because you can't just, how are you going to sell that movie to somebody who's going to fund the movie?
Well,
I got this awesome witch, bro.
Yeah. I mean, she was the standout of Weapons.
And she was, she was fantastic in the role. Dude, that was
I'm
great.
not that crazy about the movie, sorry.
Both of his movies I don't love. I thought Weapons was better than Gladiator. But I don't love them as much as everybody loves them. I think I like what they represent in that the tone is very similar to indie horror, just with the bigger budget. Like I like that it doesn't feel like it's trying to not be that, you know?
But I also really I really don't like, I know her name until right now, the lead actress in that.
The girl from Ozark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why I don't like, I can speak her name every minute of my life until
Jennifer
right
Gardner.
Now. No.
Or Jennifer something.
No.
Not Gardner.
No, it's something Garner. It's not Jennifer.
Jennifer Gardner's someone else, right?
Yeah. It's
shit.
I cannot believe I'm freaking blank on this. Her name,
Julie Garner?
Julia Garner, right?
I think so. Sometimes I'll reach for my phone and I'll remember something the moment I touch my phone. It's like Google goes through me.
It's just wild. Like her name has never left my brain until right now.
I think it's Julie.
Is it Jesse?
I'm gonna look it up.
We gotta find out because now.
But I want to say
Julia Garner. I think.
Julia Garner.
I think it's Julia Garner.
Yeah. Let's see. Julia Garner. Yep, that's it. That's her name.
I'm so sorry, and it's not about you as a person. If you're listening.
Just don't like her. She doesn't work for you.
No.
She's got Ryan Reynolds syndrome. She just plays herself in everything. That's why I could see why somebody wouldn't like her.
That's part of it.
Yeah. That's what I wouldn't like. I don't think I don't dislike her,
The New
but
Wolfman was so bad. I mean, I never thought it would be good, but it was so bad.
What was it?
The New Wolfman.
Oh, I didn't see that. Bad?
Oh, of course she's in that.
Yeah.
I just don't like her.
Yeah. She's not testing well with audiences, huh?
Well, not this audience.
Not that
There's
audience.
a lot more people in the world than me, but
yeah.
Although I did see something where for the first time I wasn't quite so cringed by her. And I can't think of the name of it, but it's the prequel to Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, I don't know that.
And I didn't know going into it that's what it was, and I'm watching it, I'm like, this is a ripoff of Rosemary's Baby. And then at the end I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh, it's a prequel. Like, you know, I didn't know going in.
That's funny.
And it's an okay movie, but it was the first time where I wasn't completely cringed by her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
There's people that are
Look
gonna
at
love
you.
her.
You've just become Tarantino.
Oh, God.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself
that
become
bitch.
Tarantino. Yeah, you just go off on Jennifer Garner. Julie Garner. You know, you could just get her name wrong intentionally. They would just drive it in.
Right?
Fuck her, Jennifer Garner.
There's do you know Anna Gasteyer?
No.
You would if you saw her, I think.
Okay.
She has this alter ego character on Instagram. I don't know if she's elsewhere, but she's definitely on Instagram. And it's the same thing, but it's so funny because the character constantly acts like she's a rival with Anna Gasteyer, and she always gets her name wrong. And you never quite know if she's just an idiot or if she's doing it intentionally. Like, I refuse to say the right name, but it's really funny.
It's a great bit. If you ever have somebody you don't like, get their name wrong on purpose. That's like, it just works always.
Yeah.
And you always have the plausibility. If you do it right, you have plausible deniability. It's like, well, maybe they are just a doofus.
Well, the best ever though is Mariah Carey. I mean, my OG, right? When they ask her about Jennifer Lopez, and she goes, "I don't know her." That was the best. It was the best moment ever. It will never ever die as a video memory in my head. And she's the delivery is perfect. Yeah. It is so cool. It is so calm. It is so, and and the person doing, blah, 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 Jennifer Lopez, and she goes, "I don't know her."
Yeah. Yeah. It's a boss bitch right there. That's somebody who she ain't got time for games. Okay. No. I feel like before we get out of here, we got to at least talk about your film a little bit, right? So, you don't want to reveal much, so I guess just if you were to tell people about it, if you were to at least tell people who are watching this, they heard you talk for 2 hours, all right? So
I'm going to sit back up because I'm sinking a little.
Yeah, sit before you sink, falling into the sinkhole, the trap couch. Oh, there's that droop technology. There we go. So what happens is if you get it up, like if we bring this up and then you bend it down, like that, it's better. It'll droop less.
God. I should take this into my bedroom.
Yeah, ooh. Right? Ooh, don't give me ideas.
Right? Hey.
But anyway, so yeah, just like what even is sin? I mean, even the name. What does the name mean to you?
Yeah, so the name, I didn't write the original story. The original story and script came from Gabrielle Alicia Morbeck. She's a new writer and she really wants to be a filmmaker. She's based in Milwaukee, and I had written a script based on a story of hers called Metal Show, and I'm kind of shopping that around. So we had met and we had worked together, right? And that was a script I wrote based on a scene she did, and then I wrote the whole. So with this one, I was really thinking like, I want to produce something, but I need something because Metal Show is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money. It's a bigger production. I said, I'm not ready to go into Metal Show. I don't have that kind of money, and I don't want to half-ass it, right? And I really wanted to because I launched my official production company a couple years ago, and I had done 2 shorts that, they were dramas. And I said, I really, really want to do horror. I said, but it's got to be something that's easy on the budget, easy to produce. And so I said, you've been talking about sin on social. I said, let me read it. Let me look at it. Sorry, I got my keys poking me.
I thought you were about to pull out some secret sin, the thing you had in your pocket the whole time. Then she gave me this.
I have a lock of her hair.
Yeah, right.
Please sniff it with me.
Promo for the movie.
Right. And so I knew, so I said, let me read it. So she had written the whole thing, and I read it, and I was like, huh. And when I read stuff, I can't help but read it as a producer and director, right? Like, what would I do with this? How would that work logistically? And okay, this many characters, this many locations, this many days. I start, and as I'm reading the script, if I'm interested in the story and I can start forming images in my head, shots, and I kind of start forming shots in my head and storyboards and things, then I'm like, okay, I want to go somewhere with this.
Yeah.
So I said to her, I like the story, but she kind of already knows my MO. And I'm like, but are you going to be okay if I want to rewrite it? I said, I can't take it on as a producer if I kind of can't get in there and, do some things.
Right.
She was cool, right? So I was like, okay. So then I did it, and I went in and did a rewrite. And I really tried to add in some suspense and tried to make some more connections with the characters that maybe weren't there yet, because I really like character development and dialogue and stuff. And luckily, she was really happy with everything I did. We didn't have to have any back and forth, right? So the story is about Syn, spelled S-Y-N, and it's a tequila. And I've posted it on my Instagram, but I'll show you when we're done. I'll show you the liquor bottle, like the design I did for the bottle. But so you've got these young 20-somethings, not too long out of high school, right? They've been friends forever. They're having a little New Year's Eve party at the house. It's not a banger. It's just them having a party, right? I think the goal was to invite some people, but they never get there. And it's just a little gathering at the house. The little sister shows up and takes off for a while, and they get this mysterious delivery on their porch. They bring it in, and it is the Syn. It's the bottle of tequila. And there's just a message, and you find out that they clearly have some beef with some old classmate who's decided to just grow up and move on from it. And she's like, Happy New Year. Here's a whatever. But there is a warning. And the warning is, do not drink before midnight or else. What do you think they do?
And this was the moment when he was directing and he told them, you have to drink it. It makes sense. Bottom line, they decide to partake. Yeah.
And they all die.
Oh, boy.
But there's a little hint, like I didn't do it intentionally, but when it was all done and I was reading, back through it, I find...
Have they not seen Gremlins? What the fuck, dude?
I find that there's a little hint of Final Destination in the way I crafted the stuff. Although I realize now I might have to do a reshoot to complete one of those thoughts that I had.
Final Destination in the sense that it was all meant to be the same idea.
Well, more about
like
kind of
fate,
the crafting leading up to the death. You know how Final Destination like teases you with things and shows you this and shows you that.
Yeah, to the point where it's almost become a victim of its own success too. Like that franchise is a joke almost. Like every scene, you're just okay. So the rake, okay. So the light.
But that's the point of that, right?
Right.
And so
you know what's coming.
Yeah. And so
that's the same idea. We're having a one shot where we sit on this prop for a second. Oh, I wonder what that shot means. And it doesn't mean anything till later.
Yeah, or like seeing someone do something with this and then you realize that, that was alluding to what just happened. And little things like that. So it's not a full-blown homage. We're not remaking Final Destination here. But I really like,
Well, that's good visual storytelling, I think.
Yeah,
that's a great way to utilize visual storytelling. Yeah. Because I mean, you're speaking without words when you do something like that. You know? You're telling the audience without telling them. Because if you're a smart audience, you should know, or you'll recognize that.
And you either catch it or you don't, right?
Exactly.
But ultimately,
and you're rewarded for catching it.
Yeah. Ultimately, I really just wanted a reason to do some really, really bloody stuff. On the YouTube on the preview you got there, you asked her, is she ready to be covered in blood? I believe is the question. Yeah.
Are you ready to be covered in blood?
Yeah. So I will say, because we had our own little difficulties during production. So we still ended up using like 2 gallons of blood, but the plan was to use 5.
Bummer.
I know. But if you didn't know that, it's not gonna. So I just hope that the finished film is gory enough for me, because I wanted it to be really gory. You know what I mean?
And I love how before you said that, you cited the number of gallons of blood.
Yeah.
Like you just didn't hit the blood number you wanted to hit.
Yeah.
You're watching it back and you're going, that splash could have been a lot bigger.
Yeah. And we were under time constraints. We had some location issues, and there's all kinds of things that go into filmmaking, right?
Oh, I mean, and especially you're talking about something like this, because a lot of it is practical effects. So
that was the other thing I was about to say, is I wanted everything to be practical. I didn't want it's the first. I like the first cut. We need to evolve it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just excited. I hope that people like the ride. That's really it.
Yeah. I don't know, how many films have you made before this?
Officially 2. I have worked on so much stuff since the 90s.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as like my own production company, my own production, my own film, like it's really, I've done 2 and this is now my 3rd.
So with those 2, was the experience that the first cut was dramatically different than the final cut?
I think so. I don't know if, I mean, maybe not dramatically. I actually have a hard time remembering now at this point what those first cuts look like.
Yeah. Because I just have heard from filmmakers that is the case often.
I would think that it would be often, and I hear that a lot.
Like, I've even heard filmmakers who are dissatisfied with the first cut, and then they'll have to be consoled. Like,
then there's some filmmakers that are never happy at all, right? I mean, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them.
Some edit it themselves. Some are so upset about it, they'll go in and do everything themselves because they don't even want.
Or you get into situations where you're like, like when I rapped on this, for example, I'm like, we didn't get the shot that I wanted. We didn't get this. You have to make concessions when you're on set.
Have you heard about who's the guy from the Westerns? Very old now, a director. He's done so many.
Sergio Leone?
No, American Westerns, and he's American. He's
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, okay. And there's just stories about him directing, and he's so careless about whether or not they got the shot. Like, I think there's this story.
Really?
It's Matt Damon or somebody, because there's this. I can't remember what movie it is.
No, you're right. I read the Matt Damon thing.
You know what I'm talking about?
And he was like, yeah, we're good.
And Matt Damon's talking about it like he couldn't believe that he was going to accept that. Like, it just looks so bad. And the audiences agree, but it was just that Clint Eastwood did not want to spend any more time doing this. He said, nope, we got it. Why are we going to waste our time?
And
so, know, but he's fucking Clint Eastwood, so he's allowed to do that at this point. He can do that.
He's a great director.
Mm-hmm. And he is great.
I like his film.
But, it's probably just he's extremely efficient. It's probably that he's so efficient that maybe sometimes he's a bit too efficient. It's probably what's happening there, because he's just so used to moving like that. Like, why are we going to spend more time? It's the opposite of a Fincher, where Fincher's going to take 60 takes just in case the first 50 weren't good enough. Yeah. Throw that book one more time for me into that chair for the close-up shot. It's going to take 4 seconds. Let's get 60 takes of that.
Well, we've all been guilty of that.
And sometimes you're right. Sometimes that 60th take is gold, baby.
But I will say, seeing the first cut, it was at least for me with this film. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I have a film.
It's real.
It's kind of like, okay.
Because before that, it doesn't feel so real.
Not somewhat. Mm-hmm. And then it's also like, with what I have, doesn't matter what I wanted.
Is it a film?
With what I have, are we going to craft a film out of this?
Or is this The Room? Is this just a bunch of scenes that I'm calling a movie? Yeah. Or is this a movie?
So I'm like... So the first cut, I've worked with the one editor in all 3 projects, Joshua Boschel, and he's a great director and filmmaker on his own as well, but he's a really great editor and he can work really fast. And so the first cut at least told me I have a movie, I have a film.
Yeah.
So there's some things I want to look at, some things I want to shift around. So usually I'll let him do the first 1 or 2 on his own. And maybe we'll talk about stuff ahead of time and I'll give him some really detailed notes. Maybe I won't. With this one, it was kind of like he just wanted to like jump on it.
Yeah.
And I said, go ahead. Because I was going to go on vacation. I went away for about a week. He worked on a cut while I was gone. So now we're going to get together in a week. And together we'll do our second cut.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like it really starts to shift and change because I'm really now adding my input and I'm really examining, okay, you use this here. Let's look at another option. And, that's when I can start crafting what I created and what he created into something else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of great filmmaking or great editing, I guess, would be a lot of that, like the synergistic in the same way you'll see relationships between directors and actors, you'll see relationships with directors and producers, directors and editors, because all these little moving parts matter so much, and having somebody who gets what you're trying to say, I guess that's another big part of it.
And having someone who doesn't who doesn't have so much pride over ownership of their cut, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've been lucky that I don't think I've had to run into that, but that certainly exists where the editor is refusing to use something a producer or director wants, or I don't know if that's I'm not in those situations, so what can I really say? But it's really great to know that we can have a true collaboration, because that's important. Yeah. He's done excellent work, but I have some thoughts of how I want something to go. So let's look at that now and see how we can work what I'm thinking into what you have. And sometimes it's a matter of, well, you know what? I don't have the footage to pull off what's in my head.
Right.
So let's come up with something more creative.
And you would need someone like his input to get there. Yeah. And I mean, it's all about, just in the business world, I suppose, it's all about leveraging your weaknesses and your strengths. That's how I think about it. It's like, you are just not going to be as good at some things, and you got to accept that, and you got to utilize your strengths at the same time. Like, you have something to offer for people, but whatever you have to offer somebody is going to be for what you have to offer, and you have to figure out what that is, and then that's how you get things from other people.
Yeah,
that you need.
There's nothing wrong.
It's just about giving them something that's comparable. Yeah, like, you have strengths too, but there's just being okay with not being able to do certain things.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to do everything, and I think like a filmmaker would know that really well, because you can't.
There's people who try.
Yeah.
And maybe some succeed and a lot don't. But, but the other thing too is what I say is, listen, if anything, this is proof that you don't have to have a ton of movie to have very talented, dedicated people working on your project.
Yeah.
This crew, now I'm going to get emotional. A lot went down on this set. Not like not like turmoil, not like people were fighting or anything like that. But I mean, just like structure and things. Things just didn't go as planned. Right? And this crew was so fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I only knew a small handful of them. These were all strangers to me. And it's not like, listen, I didn't have money. It wasn't like I was throwing money at people and they had to show up to get their $1,500 check. I didn't have $1,500 checks, I mean, so it wasn't like, it's different. If you're on a big set, people will do all kinds of things because they're getting paid a shit ton of money, right?
Yeah.
These are true filmmakers to me. These are actual artists, and we're all just trying to create something from nothing. And they're dedication just kind of blew me away, and we were shooting so much longer than I had ever wanted to shoot in a day. And I'm just really thankful that I had the crew that I had. I really am. And it takes a lot to make a film. But the real point I was trying to get at is, you don't have to have a ton of movie to have a ton of money to have talented actors or a talented crew, or people to do the things that you shouldn't have to do everything on a fucking film set.
Yeah.
You don't have to do everything. Yes, you can be the producer. You can kind of ultimately control the circus, right? Or lead the circus. But you don't have to. Yes, things are maybe going to be better if you have a big budget, if you have a lot of money being thrown at you, if you can buy the things you need to buy and pay people things, and there's money. Yes, things can get better, but you can still do great work with nothing.
Yeah.
You just have to have the right people. You just have to have people that want to execute your vision. You have to have people, like you said, that can pick up the slack where this is not your strong suit, or you can't do that, but this person can. Filmmaking is all about collaboration. And yes, there are some people who are not going to collaborate, and, whatever. Maybe they make good work, maybe they don't. But being on a film set, especially an indie film set, is like a little summer camp situation. Like, I don't know how to put it.
When I was talking with, I mentioned it before, we started recording Noah Guardado. He was comparing it to like being a film director is like hosting a party. And I think that's an interesting comparison in that, like, you're setting the stage for everybody, and it's like the tone that you put forth is what you're going to get. Like, you are leading the whole everything. And I think that comes with like being dedicated too, right? Like, if you're a dedicated director and you're really trying to make this work, I think that's where you get that dedicated cast who sees you doing that, and then they want to give you just as much because they can see how much you're giving to the project. And I think it matters so much is it for the cast. Like that's you don't get a cast doing that if the director's not doing that. You just don't, because they're not going to pick up the slack for you. I mean, but they have to see that the person at the helm of this project that's doing everything, making all the choices, is all the way in, and then they're going to go just as far in as you are. And so I just think and I think energy is infectious too. Like it's all about energy, and it's all about getting. If you like even performances, right? Like if you're a director, what are you doing? You're directing, so you're trying to push them towards the performance that you want. Like just direct. Well,
it's kind of like conducting an orchestra, right?
Yeah.
The orchestra, can just sit there and play music.
Yeah.
But the conductor is what is giving that music the feeling, the rhythm, and the jointed presentation of this music, right?
Yeah.
It's the ebbs and the flows and the crescendos and the speed, and that's all the conductor.
Yeah.
So even if he's deciding to do something different, you're following him.
Right.
Like he's setting that whole pattern and rhythm,
and there's a lot of trust involved in that too, right? A lot of giving yourself up to whatever this other person's idea is. I think there's a lot of that has to happen, unless you're Edward Norton.
Well,
then you just give them a new movie.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, I mean, as an actor, there's times where I will ask to change a line sometimes, but
I only mention him. He's like the funny. He's just funny because he's an extreme dude.
Yeah.
I've never heard of somebody rewriting a script and getting away with it.
And I've heard all those stories about how he's shown up with an entirely different script.
I kind of like it. I kind of like my wild cards. I like those people. There's something wrong with me, because I think it's just because I'm like an interviewer. I'm like a person who talks to people. I just want to break them down. I just want to bring them in and be like, why? Why do you do this?
Why do you make movies?
Yeah. So with that being said, Tarantino, Edward Norton, you're welcome on Ruse Radio. You guys can come on, explain yourselves. I'm happy to have you. I'll ask you the hot questions, get you in the hot seat. What did you call this earlier? The couch of doom?
Couch of doom.
We'll get you in the couch of doom.
Just sucks you right up, man.
Yeah. Before you know it, she'll just be inside of it like a gremlin. You're a little troll ready to give somebody a riddle when they come in here.
That's it. And you have to make up before you get swallowed all the way in.
So riddle?
We'll bring Quentin and Rosanna in here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, Roseanne. She's another really good one. I'd be like, Roseanne, why? Roseanne, give me. I'm gonna read your tweets out loud to you. You just tell me on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you think of your own tweets? We could do some fun things. She'd probably rate them all 5. She'd be like, "That was a masterpiece. That was a masterpiece. That was a masterpiece." I'd be like, "All right, Roseanne, thank you for your input."
Ambien. Ambien did it all.
Folks, it was Ambien and alcohol. Do not mix Ambien and alcohol. All right, you might end up like Roseanne. You think that was just her? No, that's Ambien and alcohol, boys and girls. That's a bad mix. You become something else.
Chelsea Handler has some great stories about her.
It's like you're in a fugue state.
Yeah,
you just start. You do things you don't even know you would do.
Yeah. She's done and said things. Never publicly. Well, maybe not never, but she hasn't had a scandal or something. But she'll freely talk about. She's like, it really fucked me up.
Yeah.
And she does some stuff. She doesn't hide that either.
I've got a couple Chelsea Handler books in this room. I got all these books around me. There's 3 Chelsea Handler books.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I don't have all of them, but I like her.
I plan on giving them away at the next Cash Bash. For some reason, there's some funny novelty to me about Chelsea, the giving away Chelsea Handler books. Any comedian biographical book. It's just so the novelty of them having a book to me is funny. I've also got Hillary Clinton's book that I'm going to give away.
Oh.
I don't know why those gravitate for me. Last one we gave away a Barack Obama DVD. I just think there's a novelty to giving away shit like that, for free. It's I'm doing you a favor. I'm giving you the Hillary Clinton book. You're welcome.
I actually would like to read the Hillary Clinton book, but
yeah, hold on. I got it in this box right here. No. Whip it out for you.
That's the one with the white cover and the blue font, right? Oh no, it's a different.
There you go. I think it's autobiographical. Pretty sure. I don't see any other name on there.
Oh, so this isn't the brand new one.
No.
I didn't even know about this one.
Yep. Hidden History on Ruse Radio.
Copyright 2003 by Hillary Rodham Clinton.
By her. She wrote it.
First published in 2003 by Simon and Schuster Incorporated.
2003?
Yeah.
Damn, it's a different Hillary then.
Yeah, I didn't even, that's what I mean. Like, I thought this was her brand new book, so I didn't even know this one.
I didn't know it was that old when I picked it up. Pictures?
As I smack the...
We got pictures in here.
Pictures? Hillary was young once.
Dude, young Hillary, everybody knows now because it's been a thing online. She looks like Sabrina Carpenter. Younger Hillary Clinton looks like Sabrina Carpenter.
You think so?
Yeah, like this is not just me saying this. A lot of people feel that way. It's like, and it's almost uncanny.
No, I get it. For some reason in my head, I was thinking Sweeney.
Oh,
I was
Sydney
like,
Sweeney.
Yeah, I was like, no. But yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they look alike. Let's see. I'm trying to find like a good page just to give you guys a sample, like something spicy, something good. All right. Everything I'm seeing is just pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. I keep seeing stuff, and she's just talking about boring stuff. I need the juicy details. Oklahoma City. The first lady is sorry she can't be with you tonight. Bill Clinton told the crowd of Washington journalists and politicians in March 1995. If you believe that, he went on, I've got some land in Arkansas and I'd like to sell you. Is that Bill Clinton? Is that all right, guys? Because I condone my own Bill Clinton impression. It was another gridiron dinner, but this time I couldn't be there because I was traveling in South Asia. So I pre-recorded a 5-minute parody of the hit movie Forrest Gump to play at the end of the show. Folks, we got a good page. We picked a good page. As the tape rolled, a white feather drifted out of a blue sky.
Ding, 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 ding,
and landed in front of the White House near a park bench where I, Hillary Gump, sat with a box of candy on my lap. My mama always told me the White House is like a box of chocolates. I said in my best Tom Hanks imitation, it's pretty on the outside, but inside there's lots of nuts. The skit, written and directed by author and comic Al Franken of Saturday Night Live fame, that's a name drop, folks, was a send-up of both the movie and my life. Like 8 Mile. This is like the Hillary Clinton 8 Mile. Featuring scenes from my childhood, college days, and political career.
Chicago.
Yeah. Mandy Grunwald, Paul Begala, and Tonight Show host Jay Leno contributed ideas. Each time the camera returned to me on the bench, I was wearing a different wig, poking fun at my ever-changing hairstyles. At the end of the spoof, Bill did a walk-on cameo. He sat next to me on the bench and took my box of chocolates, offering me one piece in return, then asking if he could have some French fries. Wow. Folks, this is riveting stuff.
Now I want French fries.
I'm glad that I picked that page because I feel like that was actually a fantastic payoff. I'm going to go watch that. I'm going to watch the Hillary Clinton Hillary Gump SNL skit. Sounds like it was an SNL skit.
That's what it sounded like.
That's how they described it.
And I know I probably would have seen it, so I'm trying to remember it.
Well, maybe because the way they described it, it was written by SNL people, but it was for some event. I think
so.
That's
It was like a live event, right?
She's talking about some exclusive ass Hillary Clinton cryptic knowledge
on Epstein Island. No, sorry,
it's in the files. You can see Hillary Gump in the files.
Oh,
all right, man. Well, it's been a pleasure. This show is for 3 to 5-year-olds. All right, that's my core audience, obviously.
Oh,
and
good.
so I'm a good role model.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about me, but the kids love me. And so what you're going to do is you're going to give advice to the 3 to 5-year-olds, all right? The children who are watching this show, they're going to take out their headphones. They're going to enter the real world. They're going to get off the school bus, and they're going to live life. And you're going to give them a piece of advice they can take into the world and use, a little bit of knowledge from our brains, and also the social medias where people can find you, where they can see the information about the stuff that you do. This comes out about a month from now, but, if there's any events or anything like that, also just like, if there's anywhere they can stumble upon your film or where your film might end up, this is the place where you give all that information. So, boom.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll give you the socials first, I guess.
All right.
Good Candy Films is my production company. You can find that on Instagram, Good Candy Films. And my you can find my personal one on there, but it's Ashland T for Ashland Thomas. Sin will hopefully be out by October, I would hope. But if you're following me on social, you'll know exactly how to find it and where you can support us. Film festival wise, there's not too much going on until October with the Illinois Horror Movie Festival, which will be out in Carroll County, which is out towards Iowa. But keep a check on that if you want to have some fun. It's going to be an interesting little convention out there, kind of some camping going on. So it'd be kind of fun.
Nice.
But my advice to all the children of the world: keep your taint clean.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Yeah. No. So yes, you should keep your taint clean. But in all,
A lot of black grandmothers have given that advice. They rephrase it as "wash your ass."
yes. Well, this is more specific to don't ignore the spot right under your ass.
Yes.
You know, like
Different.
Yeah. It's got special care.
Yep. And the taint is like a magical connection land, all right? There's a lot of things that can happen at the taint spots, you know? A lot of mold that could fester in the taint if you don't clean it.
Oh, well, we don't want that.
You don't want mold.
No one wants
taint
a moldy
mold.
ass taint.
No, moldy ass taint. That could be your next film.
That, well, it could be my next single. I'm going to...
As a rapper. What does Matt stand for, Ruse? What does Matt stand for? You gotta listen to the song.
but legit advice is make what you want to make.
Yeah.
Find people that support your vision and make what you want to make, and know that just because you can't do it today doesn't mean you can't do it tomorrow.
And the decisions you make today will lead you to when you can make it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's these decisions now and these connections you make now that build exponentially in ways you could never even imagine, right?
Yeah.
And I think that manifestation is a big, people will like to tell you can do anything. And I don't know if that's true, but I do know that people who are successful are people who thought they could do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody just stumbles into doing what they want to do. They
Very rarely.
The
problem is
very 0.1%
yeah.
rare.
The problem
So
is
rare.
it happens, and then
Yeah.
everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to be an instance.
Yeah.
No,
It's so much work and sacrifice and giving yourself up to whatever that thing is. And you have to be a little bit delusional if you really, really, really want to get somewhere with art. You just have to be. That's
Yeah.
how it works. And that's
And
what it is.
don't-
And not even just art, just whatever your dream is. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be a trade, just pursuing something. There's so much of yourself you got to give away if you want. I mean, that's just how reward works. You put it, however much you put in on that back end, you get so much back. And it sounds simple, but in exercise, it's so much harder to execute because you give up so much along the way.
Well, don't do it for fame and riches.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it works out for some people, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I would not recommend getting into anything artistic for fame or fortune.
Yeah, you're just setting yourself up for failure at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because when you get the fame and fortune, you're like, this kind of sucks. Where are my friends at?
Like if at some point in my life I'm suddenly making a ton of money to be an actor or director, great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do lots of good work before that, I hope.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And I hope we're doing good work here on this show that you might know as
Radio.
Where's Dale Earnhardt?
Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is lost in the mess. It's hysterical, the picture that